3403 today.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that's not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like Kim from Morgantown. Kim was experiencing such severe numbness, burning, and stabbing pain in her feet that she constantly felt distracted in life. Then Kim discovered Tri-State Neuropathy Centers and their effective FDA-approved treatment program that has no drugs, is non-invasive, and painless. Kim no longer has the pain that was limiting her daily activities, and she's now enjoying life again. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers helped Kim, along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 304-777-2068. That's 304-777-2068. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
Community members like you have raised over $2.5 million through Fayette Gives. The Community Foundation of Fayette County is hosting this year's Fayette Gives on November 6th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at FayetteGives.org. Join the community in fundraising for 110 Fayette County charities and help them win cash prizes throughout the day. Your donation will build a stronger Fayette County by supporting local charities that make a difference. Visit FayetteGives.org on November 6th to learn more and donate during this day of giving.
Good evening. This is Tim Brown of Janney Montgomery Scott here in Uniontown, bringing you today's closing stock market report. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 251.4 points, closing at 47,085. The Nasdaq Composite was down 486.1 points, closing at 23,349. And the S&P 500 Index was down 80.4 points, closing at 6,772. Among companies of local interest, Apple closed at $270.04, up 99 cents. Amazon, $249.32, down $4.68. Cisco, $72.32, down $2.13. Boeing, $198.05, down $6.50. Caterpillar, $547.58, down $23.01. Disney, $111.47, down 65 cents. ExxonMobil, $114.14, up 38 cents. First Energy, $46.15, up 11 cents. Johnson & Johnson, $186.86, up 60 cents. Home Depot, $383.08, up $4.73. Intel, $37.03, down $2.47. McDonald's, $299.21, up $2.84. Meta Platforms, $627.32, down $10.39. PNC, $182.95, up 21 cents. Raytheon Technologies, $175.61, down $1.43. Rockwell Automation, $359.85, down $4.69. Tesla, $444.26, down $24.11. Verizon, $39.32, down 15 cents. And Walmart closed at $102.27, up 68 cents. Recapping, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 251.4 points, closing at 47,085. The Nasdaq Composite was down 486.1 points, closing at 23,349. And the S&P 500 Index was down 80.4 points, closing at 6,772. From the Uniontown office of Janney Montgomery Scott, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC, where we serve all of your investment needs. This is Tim Brown.
Join the Case Foundation on November 28th at the Uniontown Country Club for a night of glamour as they celebrate a night at the Oscars with all proceeds benefiting area youth sports. Tickets for the formal adult prom are $70 for single tickets or $125 for couples. The gala will feature a live DJ, 50-50 raffle, red carpet with a professional photographer, and more. Get your tickets today by calling 724-434-9061. Don't miss this fun night and opportunity to support local youth sports.
Look and you'll see.
It's Truck Month at Thurby's Riverside Ford. We've got the deals and the inventory. Get a new 2025 Ford F-150 4x4 with 3.9% financing for 72 months, plus $2,250 in factory incentives. How about a new 2025 Super Duty with $3,500 in factory rebates or 3.9% financing for 60 months? Oh, it's Truck Month for sure. And it's SUV season here as well. All new 2025 Ford Explorers come with 3.9% financing and a $1,500 factory rebate. Let's talk about the new 2025 Bronco Sport Big Bend all-wheel drive. Lease for $399 per month for 36 months and 10,500 miles per year. Ford financing required, tax and license extra, first payment due on lease, no security deposit required. Thurby's Riverside Ford, your presidential award-winning dealer, 1 mile past the casino at Nemacolin.
Now that the autumn season is upon us, the leaves are falling. And so are the prices at Chesler's Fine Furniture, Route 51 in Uniontown. You can purchase beautiful selections of furniture, bedding, and accessories store-wide only at Chesler's during the Fall Harvest Extravaganza. You can save up to 40% off select merchandise, plus receive 90 days same as cash. Never have so many great money-saving offers been combined into a sale. And the best part? Nothing is held back. All Chesler's famous home furnishings are available to you, including Von Bassett, Riverside, Craftmaster, Lancer, Lazy Boy, Best Home Furnishings, Pulaski, and White Dove. Remember, this sale is open to the public and can only be found at Chesler's. Layaway, credit terms, and delivery are available. Chesler's Fine Furniture, Route 51 in Uniontown, where customers send their friends.
Located on Route 40 and voted best in Fayette Hotel and Lodging, Super 8 in Uniontown offers value and amenities like free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and guest laundry to help make your stay hassle-free. The staff at Super 8 Uniontown is committed to providing consistent quality, exceptional service, and affordable accommodations. Their prime location offers jacuzzi suites and a true Fayette County hospitality with easy access to nearby attractions, dining, and entertainment for you to enjoy. As part of the trusted Wyndham brand, Super 8 provides a consistent and reliable experience. Book direct at super8.com.
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
It's the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. You know, if our listeners didn't hear enough of me already, 2 hours earlier today.
How did that go?
Now, it went okay. Had some good interviews.
Just kidding, Doug. I listen to every word because I'm never going to miss an opportunity to listen to you on the air. No, I love it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, I can't
show.
Make that joke.
No,
I had Dr. and former Congressman Tim Murphy on, talked about his interactions and working over the years with now the late Dick Cheney, former vice president, former congressman, former secretary of defense, former chief of staff to Richard Nixon at age 36.
Wow. And former mayor of a small town in Wyoming, was he not? No, that's where he was from. Casper, right?
I think it's
Casper, Wyoming.
Well,
like the ghost.
He was, and we're going to be talking about the former vice president.
Maybe the most influential vice of all time.
Well, at least in the modern era.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, it's one of those things. Kamala Harris was frequently criticized for not being involved enough, but then if you're too involved, you get accused of being a co-president.
Dick Cheney was very involved.
Yeah, he sure was. I mean, this is a guy who knew Washington. I mean, he was former Secretary of Defense.
And many thought really ran that administration more than George W. Bush. I'm sure that's not true exactly, but
they were accused of having a co-presidency. But he had enormous respect for President Bush. Arlen Specter told the story one time. He was doing a live something on C-SPAN, and Dick Cheney was part of it. And then while this is going on, somebody came over and whispered something in Cheney's ear, and he said, "Senator, I have to take a call." And he gets up and walks off the set in the middle of this thing because President Bush had called him. And so, when the president calls, you take the call.
Yeah, usually, if you want to keep your job.
Right. Dick Cheney, it was interesting, too. When he was chair of a committee to vet possible vice presidential candidates during that election in 2000.
Oh, yes.
And what was very interesting about that is that he obviously ended up becoming the vice president, presidential candidate with George Bush in the year 2000 against Al Gore. Even though he chaired the committee to pick a candidate, I think they finally realized that he was the best candidate. And a lot of Pennsylvanians were tuned into that issue back then because Tom Ridge, who at the time was the former Secretary of Homeland Security, was under consideration. Nick, as I was saying, Nick just took a call here. Tom Ridge was being considered for a vice presidential.
Yes, in 2000,
and
yes.
Dick Cheney, even though he chaired that committee, ended up being the vice presidential candidate.
That's right.
And served in that role for 8 years. Number of health problems over the years, heart attack issues, but he didn't back down. He kept fighting away and had a couple opportunities over the years to be in meetings and to meet the former vice president. One of them was he was in Pittsburgh for something. He was at the Westin William Penn Hotel, the fancy hotel in downtown Pittsburgh. And I was asked to staff him. So basically it means standing out in the hall in case he needed something. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be running for coffee or something.
Yeah, a box of Altoids.
Yeah. And somebody comes out and says, the vice president would like to talk to you. I said, oh, okay. And he's in a suite, as he should be, at this hotel. And he said, hello, Doug, I'm Dick Cheney. I'm like, how are you, Mr. Vice President? I said, I understand you have a question. He said, yes. Can you explain what locks and dams are to me?
Oh, my gosh, really?
Yeah. Now, he wasn't in town for a lock and dam event. But
this is the Vice President of the United States asking you what locks and dams are.
I don't know why he thought I would know. I do. I've been to locks and dams. I've toured them. We've helped get funding for them over the years.
That's pretty funny.
And I was trying to explain to him, and they're not easy to explain.
No.
And I said, well, it would be best if I drew something. And out of somewhere brings over a whiteboard. And so here I am drawing like a river, the lock and dam, how it raises.
So you drew locks and dams for Dick Cheney, and you also bumped into Gerald Ford. I'm trying to think of what story I believe less.
So here I am showing this. And of course, I'm no artist. And he said, let me ask you something. Are you a graphic artist? I'm like, no. He said, well, that's good. Keep your day job.
No, there you go.
I explained it to him how it worked.
Yeah, that's funny.
And but yeah, what that had to do with anything, I'm not quite sure. But thought I would know. Maybe just because I'm from this region.
Exactly.
I would know what a lock and dam is.
Maybe somebody asked him about it and he was stumped for an answer.
Most people would not know what a lock and dam is. That's a perfectly logical question. So, and then I also made him out at I was at a fundraiser for Tim Murphy at the Arnold Palmer Regional Airport, and had a chance. I have a hat somewhere at home, probably in some sort of box that I keep my keepsakes in, that says Bush Cheney, and he signed it. So,
well, there you go.
Somewhere
that'll be worth something on eBay.
I'm keeping it.
You're keeping it?
Yeah, I'm going to keep that.
And now his daughter's very influential, or was Liz Cheney?
Well, right, yeah,
very influential.
She was reelected with 70% of the vote, and 2 years later, she lost her position because she went up against the president, Trump. And to the point where Dick Cheney announced that he was going to vote for Kamala Harris.
Yes. How about that?
So that's
when Dick Cheney announces publicly he's voting for a Democrat, the world's gone haywire.
Right. And this was not a moderate Democrat. This
no.
And it was interesting.
Well, there's no moderates anymore in either party, but that's a whole other discussion.
Right, yeah. When Cheney when it was first announced he was going to be President Bush's nominee, there was a question. There's an obscure part of the U.S. Constitution that the president and vice president cannot be from the same state.
That's right.
And at that point, Cheney, who was heading up Halliburton, the big contracting company, he was living in Texas. And, of course, George W. Bush is from Texas. But they did work it out that he took his Wyoming residency. So it's obvious he did not pick Dick Cheney because he was going to bring in the great state of Wyoming.
No disrespect to Casper and Cheyenne.
Yeah, that's not a lot of votes.
No, and it's going to go Republican anyway, most likely.
So, yeah, that's what's sort of odd about it. It used to be you would pick a candidate. Kennedy and Johnson hated each other.
Yes,
Massachusetts, Texas. That was a good.
Bobby Kennedy hated Lyndon Johnson almost to you can't even believe it. There was especially after JFK died.
When Kennedy was running for re-election, they were down in Texas. Johnson was convinced he wasn't going to be on the ticket because they hated him so much. So he asked, "Just tell me the truth, Mr. President, so I can bow out gracefully. Am I going to be on the ticket?" And Jack Kennedy said, "Yes, you're going to be on the ticket." And Kennedy said to Johnson, "The only thing I ask, if you do become president someday, don't revoke my brother's citizenship."
Oh, that's funny. That's great. Now, you read that story in the Lyndon Johnson book I gave you and never gave back, right? No, I kid.
I did give it back.
But that was Master of the Senate. That was before his presidency.
And he was brilliant in the Senate. He was
Doug just glossed over that.
clearly.
No. I don't want it back. I'm joking.
Do I still have it? I
You
thought
still
I gave
have
it.
it.
To you.
Yes, you still
Oh, then
have
I'll
it.
give
We're
it
really
back to
having
you.
this bickering on the air, like an old married couple, Doug.
Right. So
Go ahead with your Lyndon Johnson story.
I was going. Where was I going with this Lyndon Johnson story?
Who knows? But it's old news now. No offense to LBJ.
But yeah, LBJ realized that even though he hated Bobby Kennedy, he could not fire him as Attorney General, so
No.
he kept him on. And
that was
then-
controversial when JFK picked his brother to be Attorney General.
Exactly. Who had
that happened now?
had never been in a courtroom in his life.
And the Democratic administration. Could you imagine what Fox News would say now? Or
Well,
vice
either
versa
side.
on MS.
Yeah,
well,
you hire your brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a scandal then, and now things are blown out of proportion now to the nth degree.
I know. So Johnson, he's one of the most powerful people in Washington.
Oh, yeah.
And Jack Kennedy himself would even admit it, and he's an afterthought at best now as vice president.
He was a phenomenal senator, just phenomenal,
Yeah,
and a great president
played
legislatively. even though
practically
Vietnam.
no role at all in the Kennedy administration.
No.
I mean, he went
Well,
internationally a lot. He did. He went
Until November 22nd,
and
1963.
then he became president.
Wow. History lesson with Doug and Nick on this election day. And the moral of this story is go out and vote, folks. Doug has a sticker on. He voted in that.
I did.
Yeah, you voted in that.
If you're watching us on Facebook Live, this is, of course, I live in Allegheny County, so they give you stickers that say, I voted in that.
That's right. That's right.
Which is a good
Very
thing.
cute.
Somebody came up to me, and I was at a store today. I don't know who the person was, and said, why are you showing off that you voted? I'm like, well, I'm not showing off. They gave me a sticker.
Really? Someone really came up to you and said that? That's silly.
Is that showing off that I voted?
I don't know, but you're not the only person to wear an I voted sticker.
No, I wouldn't think
Does this
so.
person live under a rock?
I would think so. And sadly, the turnout will no doubt be very low. And although there's races this year like I've never seen before,
this judicial retention is amazing. There's signs in people's yards for judicial retention
Yes.
with yeses and nos on it. It's very odd.
$15 million has been spent, which is a lot of money, but it's a pittance compared to what the last Senate race in Pennsylvania, U.S. Senate race, was $200 million.
Oh, exactly. Or what they're spending in New York on the mayor's race.
Oh, can you imagine?
Oh my gosh! Or these governorship in Virginia, New Jersey.
New Jersey, yeah. So we'll be talking about those tonight as well. So former Governor Tom Corbett's going to be joining us after the news break at the bottom of the hour, and then getting both sides of the aisle at 6:15. Former State Auditor General, Democrat Jack Wagner, will be joining us. He's going to talk about an issue related to independents having the opportunity to vote in primaries.
Wasn't he a soap opera actor? That was Robert Wagner. My
No, there was a
apologies.
Jack Wagner.
Oh, there was a Jack Wagner.
Yes,
I was
Robert
kidding.
Wagner was the actor who was in
Heart to Heart, right?
Heart to Heart, right.
Yeah. I should know that.
Still to this day being accused of his wife's death.
Oh, Natalie Wood,
Natalie
right?
Wood,
Yeah.
Nothing's ever been said. But
no, not like OJ. We're pretty sure he did do it.
No doubt. Speaking of OJ.
Wow, what a segue. What about OJ?
And the flyers that went out in the mail urging people to vote no on retention, one of the things they used against the 3 Supreme Court justices in Pennsylvania was their ruling to release a sexual predator in Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Cosby, and it's him.
Wow.
I actually had that in one of the flyers, and I have it right here. That they let me get the exact wording here of what it said here. It's that was one of the things they talked about. Of course, the fact that they rewrote the congressional districts in Pennsylvania, but also the fact that I thought I had it with me here, but no, they used that as an example of what they considered to be judicial overreach, where they that was one of the cases. But yeah, it was the case involving Cosby when he was released from jail, because they said he had cut a deal earlier, and then they ignored that and put him in jail. So yeah, it's Christine Donahue and Kevin Dougherty and David Wecht are the 3.
So where's the OJ connection there?
That they ruled that he could be released from jail.
Cosby.
Yes, Bill Cosby.
But what about OJ Simpson?
Oh, did I say O.J. Simpson?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. These are 2 different people, Doug.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you said Cosby.
No, OJ.
Oh, I'm so sorry. How stupid of me.
That's okay. I'm just confused. Your anecdote's fine. It just made no sense.
I'm sorry. Not speaking of O.J. Simpson.
They're
Bill Cosby.
both prominent, frankly, African-American celebrities who
that's
both did bad
embarrassing that I would
things.
somehow put both of them in my brain.
Yeah.
So
you could actually argue who did the worst thing, allegedly. I mean, both are awful.
I was talking about Bill Cosby.
It's okay. I was confused. That's all. I should have let you go. But I think the listeners were also... You've been talking all day. You were on the air 2 hours. You got another 2.5 to go. Yeah. You're about to interview a former governor.
I'll be on other radio stations later tonight.
Oh, way to brag. What, WINS in New York? You're breaking down Mom Dommy's win? Yeah,
yeah, we'll be. That's funny you say that. Yeah, that's interesting. Grace, a 34-year-old mayor of New York City.
He's too young to be president.
We're late for the news.
Oh my God,
how late are we?
Who knows? Where's the clock?
Let's just hop into it. No matter how.
Okay.
Let's take a look. We're probably too late. Yeah, don't bother. We're 30 seconds late. I'm really having a rough day here, Nick.
I was going to say,
you want to come on?
O.J. Simpson and Bill Cosby.
Yeah, you said O.J. Simpson. What was your comment about O.J.
I forget now. I totally forget. I don't think it was football related.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
It was...
Yeah, I heard O.J. Simpson. I say O.J. Simpson. I'm thinking.
Oh, because of Robert Wagner and Natalie Wood.
Oh,
so I just brought up another prominent alleged murderer. O.J. Cosby did some horrible things, but murder not alleged.
Not murder anybody.
Not allegedly. No.
I don't want to be accused of something there.
Oh my God.
Mixed up those two people. Boy,
Brian's here. He's going to pull us both off the air.
Oh, at least me.
Well, yeah.
Somebody has to be on the air. That's for sure. We're going to take a break. Oh, I'd like to do it. Can you do a do-over on radio?
That's okay.
Let's go back to right after the
on.
news, and I'll start completely over.
Just move on, man. Things happen.
You're looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know how. You brought up Cosby out of nowhere.
This is right up the date that I had a dream that... who was fired?
You said Tom Brady was fired from announcing, but he's still there.
Everyone's looking at me like, what? I'm like, I swear I read this. I must have had it.
I mean, he's not the best announcer in the world, but he hasn't been fired yet.
No, he hasn't been fired yet. Although he's doing every third commercial.
Yes, he is. Him and Mahomes, who's still playing. When did this start? The guys who are still playing do other commercials.
And of course, there's a... who are the brothers that are in every fourth commercial?
Well, the Kelseys.
Oh, the Kelseys, but also the Mannings. Right?
Oh, the Mannings, yeah, Peyton and Eli.
Good, everywhere you go, you see Peyton and Eli.
And then the other brother who never played in the NFL, but his son's the big kid of Texas, the big star.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There is that.
We're all over the map today.
We sure are, I think.
I don't know. Let's take a break.
Around. We'll be back.
Ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
Experiencing symptoms of COPD? Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale has been selected to conduct a clinical research study, and participants are needed. All study-related care will be provided at no cost, and no health insurance is required. Compensation up to $2,200 for qualified participants for time and travel. To learn more, call Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281. That's Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281.
Now is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor area with a new fence from All Around Fence Company. Conveniently located at 7896 National Pike, Uniontown. All Around Fence has been installing quality residential, commercial, and farm fencing for more than 45 years. Offering residential fencing including chain link, decorative aluminum, steel, and more, All Around Fence has the fence for you. All Around Fence is also your one-stop shop for Nutrena products and also carries livestock, equine, and pet supplies. So if you need to upgrade an existing fence, add a new gate, or are considering the installation of an all-new fence, All Around Fence has the answers you need. Visit them Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 1, or give them a call at 724-439-0331. To learn more, visit allaroundfence.com.
If you are looking for a trusted local law firm with a strong commitment to their clients, look no further than Zebley Law Offices. Attorney Zebley has been practicing law in Fayette County for more than 4 decades. Although specializing in bankruptcy, Zebley also handles real estate matters, civil suits, collections, wills, powers of attorney, and more. If you need legal help, go with a name you recognize and trust. Call Zebley Law Offices today at 724-439-9200.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
Now, we always try to pick music leading into an interview that we think our next guest will like. And this is Led Zeppelin, of course. Which album, Nick?
That is... Oh, boy. I think that's Zeppelin 3.
Zeppelin 3?
Yeah, Zeppelin 3, Immigrant Song.
Which came out 27 years before you were born.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, and
but that's the best music. And I know for a fact Mr. Governor Corbett likes Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. And joining us, speaking of which, on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, former Governor Tom Corbett. How are you, Governor?
Good evening, Doug. How are you doing? I'm doing fine.
Good. Wanted to talk to you today about, of course, former Vice President Dick Cheney, but also today's election in Pennsylvania. The word unprecedented gets overused, but we're in a world of unprecedented, it seems to be anymore, especially when it comes to politics. And I've been involved in various ways since 1986, and I don't ever recall an effort to not retain three Supreme Court justices from Pennsylvania. It's a bizarre situation. $15 million being spent, which is a lot of money, although if you compare it to the recent U.S. Senate race in Pennsylvania, which was, I think, $200 million. But still, it's a remarkable amount of effort to either retain or not retain these three Supreme Court justices. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, two observations. Number one, 20 years ago, there was an effort, I don't know if it spent nearly as much money, there was an effort to get rid of two justices of the Supreme Court, one Republican, one Democrat. The Republican, Justice Newman, was able to stay on. The Democrat, Justice Nigro, was defeated. And a lot of that was driven by the midnight pay raise, I think it was, in earlier 2005.
And they had nothing to do with it.
That's what drove that. No,
it's
it
not
had
like they
nothing to
voted
do
on
with
it.
it. Yeah. But, it was a target of the anger of the people for what happened in the legislature. You can't get the legislature that year, so you went after the Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
Now, we're at a much more divided time, I think, in our country than we have ever been. And a lot of that has to do with social media, with the internet, with cell phones and everything. And this is an opportunity for both sides to take shots at each other. And in this Supreme Court justice race, there happen to be three Democrats. If three Democrats were to lose their retention, there would be the Democrats would no longer control the Supreme Court. And then using the word control is somewhat misleading because each justice is independent to a certain extent, but the influence of the Democratic perspective, and that's exactly what's happened in this. Not surprising considering what we've been going through for the last 10 years. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and when you think that Pennsylvania is months late with a budget, there's the federal budget, the government shutdown's happening, double whammy hitting right now. But yeah, there's two Supreme Court justices you mentioned, Nigro and Sandra Schultz Newman. That was hard to believe. That's 20 years ago now. But yeah, they were sort of a victim of circumstances. They just happened. They didn't vote themselves a raise. They didn't approve the legislation. It didn't come to court. They just got a raise because the raise went to the governor and the legislature and cabinet members and the such. And as a result, one of them lost retention, 51% against them. Sandra Schultz Newman barely survived. I think it was 46%. And that kept her in. But what makes this interesting, if these...
Ironically, all the row officers got a pay raise at that time, and I was Attorney General at the time, so I got a pay raise. I had nothing to do with it. Okay, but I wasn't up for retention.
Yeah, and retention, lots of people probably don't even think about the retention and retention elections. And there are multiple ones across the state today for judge. After 10 years, it's not a get reelected and they're running against somebody. They're basically running against staying in or not staying in. So if these three members of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, let's say if they were not retained, they served at the end of the year, and then the 7-member state Supreme Court would have 4 members.
They would have 4 members, and then, as I recall, Doug, and maybe you know better, the governor would be able to nominate replacements,
right,
to serve out for 2 years, basically. And the next election for a Supreme Court justice would be in 27, at the end of November of 27, 2 years from now. But that nomination would have to be confirmed by the Senate. And as you know, the Senate is controlled by the Republicans at this point in time. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it has to be approved by the Senate. Sort of advice and consent is what they say at the U.S. Senate level. Right. This is the state Senate level, but it has to have a 2/3 vote. So usually, if there's 2 openings, there might be 1 Democrat nominated and 1 Republican nominated. That's happened before. Now
there'll be a political deal for however many openings there are. There will be a political deal. Yeah, that's just the way of Harrisburg and the way of politics.
Otherwise, it would be 2 full years of a 4-member state Supreme Court with 2 Democrats serving on it who were elected as Democrats and 2 who were elected as Republicans. So it would make it very interesting.
If you remember, in 1995, there was a vacancy in the Attorney General's office. And Governor Ridge asked me to fill that vacancy. It was the remainder of the term of Ernie Priate, but the part of the deal was I had to promise I would not run in 1996 for a full 4-year term as Attorney General, which promise I kept.
Yeah.
And I was confirmed.
Right. And whether it's people taking on a position to be a state Supreme Court judge for 2 years would make that same promise, who knows? And that would be something, no doubt. That's what happens behind, not behind, but in smoke-filled rooms in Harrisburg.
There used to be smoke-filled rooms. I don't know.
Not anymore. Not too many people are smoking in the Capitol anymore.
No.
I do remember back in the day smoking a cigar because somebody, his wife had a baby, but I don't think you can smoke in the Capitol building anymore.
I haven't seen anybody smoking there. I think maybe they go out on the portico and do it, but not
have their
inside.
Cigars. There, as we're talking with former Governor Tom Corbett. Other national races, of course, and they always say, we're not going to focus on those specifically, but they say sometimes these other races, and there's governor races in Virginia and in New Jersey and the mayor's race in New York, sometimes those can be viewed as bellwethers for the next election cycle, which would be, of course, a congressional cycle in 2026. Sometimes
and it may also be a first chance for the voters to react to President Trump and the actions he's taken in these almost 10.5 months that he's been in office.
Yeah. I've read something I thought was rather interesting. There are 17 district attorneys up for election in Pennsylvania, and only 5 is there an opposition. Is there an actual race in this general election? Of those 17, 12 have no opposition. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing. I think there should be opposition in every election. But 17 races up, and only 5 are being contested.
Well, but it's not surprising. If you consider, I think the district attorney of Philadelphia is up for election, and he is being strongly opposed. And I'm not going to go into the merits of that too much other than saying I agree with the opposition. His political philosophy. But you get beyond that, and the counties are all different sizes, a lot of rural counties, and I don't know which ones are up. But I suspect many of the rural counties, the lawyer population is not that large. Everybody kind of knows everybody else. They may be a Democrat county, they may be a Republican county, and the willingness for somebody to go and run for office, to be the district attorney, or to oppose a long-time district attorney, can be considered carefully before you do it. In some of those counties also, it's not unusual for that district attorney that's in office to eventually maybe become a judge in that county, and the vacancy occurs. It's a matter of timing. I know that I was recruited by the former Pennsylvania Senator Stanley Stroup from Bedford when I finished law school, to move to Bedford and work with him and his son, who became the DA and then became a judge. And I chose to come home to Pittsburgh, and Bedford's nice, but I'm glad I came home to Pittsburgh. But those are career choices that people make. One thing that has happened, though, is that district attorney pay now is equal across the state. Before, the county set what the pay would be, and a lot of district attorneys had to be part-time district attorneys and had to have a private practice. Well, now they're paid full-time,
right.
And they get the salary of similar to a judge. It's $1,000 less than what a common police court judge makes in Pennsylvania, and they've all been made uniform. So there's been a lot of changes in the last 20, 25 years.
Yeah, it was an odd situation where you had attorneys going to court, district attorneys going to court as private citizens practicing law, officers of the court in another way. Yeah, it was a strange time. Bucks, Lackawanna, Lebanon, Warren County, and Philadelphia counties. Those are the 5 counties where there are challengers in the DA races.
Okay, so Bucks, you see a change in political party. It was a very Republican party, then it went to Democrat. Now the Republicans are getting back in control. Lackawanna, I don't know up there. Lebanon County, that's a pretty Republican county, and Pierce Hess she's a law school graduate at Duquesne. I would suspect that she has an excellent chance of running again, and I forget what the other ones were.
Warren County and Lackawanna, of course.
Warren County, that might be retirement or something up there. It could be a contention, or it could be two new people running at the same time.
Yeah, very interesting. What is interesting, as of Monday of last week, over 1.1 million voters had requested mail-in ballots for the November 4th election. And that's 17% more than what would be a comparable election 4 years ago in 2021. So that's interesting, that the mail-in ballot issues, there's a jump in it during an off-year election.
Well, I think it shows a little more comfort with the mail-in system than they had in the last 5 years. A little more acceptance of it, and a little bit more on the part of both parties to try and convince people, particularly people who don't normally vote or maybe only vote once or twice every 4 years, to get out there in the presidential year, to get out there. It's much easier to vote now. All you got to do is ask for a ballot, and you can send it in ahead of time.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess there's been some glitches around the state. I guess the State Department of Elections, the Bureau of Elections, sent out to certain counties the 2024 list of voters instead of 2025. So that'll get the folks.
The one thing we know about government, it's not perfect.
That's right. Nothing's perfect. You should have heard the first half of my show. I stumbled through so much stuff there. It's interesting as this election comes up, and if nothing else, perhaps these statewide retention votes will get people to turn out to vote. It brought some attention to it. Sadly, I think most people probably don't even realize there are also races for Superior Court at the state level and Commonwealth Court. Most people don't even probably realize those are coming up because all the attention.
Well, and I'll bring up other races that are out there that people don't pay attention to, and in which the winners do not get paid if they get into office, and that's school board. And school boards have a huge impact on the local community and on the taxes that people pay.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And you talk about being in the community. A friend of mine was on school board, and he said, if one more person comes up to me in Giant Eagle and tells me that their 5th grader's not getting enough playing time on the volleyball team, I'm going to scream. I mean, that's what it's
and
like.
In fact, I will tell you, I was talking to my law students today at Duquesne, and I said one of the reasons many people run for good reason. Many people run because their son, their daughter, their neighbor, they weren't getting the amount of sports times or social times or whatever, which is never a good reason to run. And they don't need to know how the system works. So I don't know what other states do, but our system, I think we need to look at how we get to different school boards. And the other thing is, we have 500 school districts in Pennsylvania. 500.
Yeah, ridiculous.
We can't afford that. It will change. I think in the next 15, 20 years, they're going to have to reconsider how to do that because people can't afford to pay those taxes.
Yeah, there's a superintendent in every one, and
everyone.
Yeah, and
everything. There's duplication in every one.
When you think about
healthcare for the teachers and for all the employees. There's over. If there's 500 school districts, there's probably 480 different healthcare plans.
Right. And I think Virginia, the schools are by county, for heaven's sake. And
Virginia, the schools are by county. I think Maryland, the schools are by county also.
Think about that. And there used to be more than 500, for heaven's sakes, at least back in the...
there was over 2,000 at one time.
2,000 different school districts. Yeah, you had a high school in every town from a different school district. Yeah. It's
well, I live in Shaler Township. When I was in high school, it was Shaler High School. It was the township. That was it. But the borough of Etna, the borough of Millville, and the township of Reserve all were forced in by the state into a merger in 72 or 73, I think it was.
Right.
And we became Shaler area. It used to be the Etna Rams, the Millville Indians, and Reserve didn't have a mascot that I recall.
Yeah, it's a different area. Let me ask one more question. Christine Donahue, this is interesting, who's up for retention as Supreme Court Justice. I find it unusual that someone could run for retention and not be eligible to serve the entire term they're getting retained for. She's going to hit her maximum age for retirement in 2 years. Now, it's perfectly legal. She can run, and then she has to retire when she hits the retirement age as specified by the state constitution. But that seems unusual that someone could run for an office and they can't complete the term. It would be like a president taking over, I'll use an example, I guess, Gerald Ford. He could run from 76, but he couldn't have run in 80 because he served for more than 2 years of the last term of Richard Nixon.
Right.
But it seems odd that someone could run for an office, in this case be retained in an office they can't serve the entire term for. That just seems unusual.
Well, two observations first. A few years ago, I think 2015 or 17, we changed the maximum age for judges from 70 to 75. Had it stayed at 70, she would not have been running now.
Right.
There would have been a vacancy. But she's entitled to stay there. Okay. I hope, and I know Christine, I've met her, the justice. I know her. I've met her a number of times, had conversations. She's clearly healthy enough and strong enough to continue to do that job for the 2 years. So why shouldn't she be able to do it, especially since there is a mechanism to fill the vacancy when she reaches that? And I think we need to look at the limits. 10 years might be a little too long for retention. Maybe it should be 8. Maybe it should be a discussion of should there be term limits for judges. The only ones that I know have term limits are the executives.
Right.
There's no term limits for the legislature or for the courts except by age.
Yeah, some cities, for instance, Philadelphia mayor can only run for 2 terms. Pittsburgh mayor could run forever.
Right.
And it's funny. Earlier we had somebody on from California. We were talking about their referendums out there, and there's a referendum every 10 minutes out there on something else. But the amendment that changed the mandatory judicial retirement age in Pennsylvania was one of those classically poorly written questions that was almost impossible to understand. And Nick and I have joked about this over the years. Shall the Pennsylvania Constitution be amended to require that justices of the Supreme Court and other judges be retired on the last day of the calendar year in which they attain the age of 75? Now, I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but I couldn't figure this one out unless I read it about 4 times. But that's
when you read it out loud that way, it makes more sense when you read it than when you read it to yourself.
Right. It's
a yes/no question, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. But the way it's written, no offense to an attorney who's joining us on air right now, it's sort of classic legal speech. And they're like, whoa, who wrote this thing? And then there's the plain English statement by the Office Attorney General that follows that. So, yeah, interesting that that's how that goes about. But, yeah, there's always...
Which, by the way, I was no longer Attorney General.
Stress the point. That's right, yeah. But, yeah, interesting on these, a retention for 10 years. And it was very unusual that these 3 judges were all elected in the same year by different circumstances, retirements and other issues, that there were 3 Supreme Court justices up in the same year. That's not unprecedented, but pretty unheard of to have it happen.
Right. We know, I know for sure of 2, but I don't remember 3.
Yeah, that was. In fact, these 3 were the ones that came up 10 years ago.
Right.
But, yeah, exactly. And then there have been 2 in the past, but I don't ever recall 3. But then, as I've proved several times throughout this conversation, I don't know everything. Far from it.
Frankly, I would never have thought that the justice that she was the oldest of the 3.
No, I didn't think so. I was surprised. In fact, I got a second source on that when I was researching it. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. But there's a compliment for her. But, Governor, thanks so much. We appreciate your taking time to join us today on a number of different topics here. And it's always good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me on. I look forward to it again.
Thank you. Former Governor Tom Corbett joining us on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. Former Democrat State Auditor General Jack Wagner is going to join us after the news in the 6 o'clock hour. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive Show on WMBS.
Tune in to WMBS the 2nd and 4th Thursdays monthly at 10:30 a.m. for an all-new radio program with Pete Crackle, Director of Clinical Operations and Pharmacist at Nickman's Drug. Pete will explore a myriad of health-related topics and talk about how a strong relationship with your pharmacist is vital for your best health. So mark your listening calendars and be sure to catch the all-new show the 2nd and 4th Thursday each month. Need a pharmacy? Visit Nickman's Drug today at any of their 7 area locations.
Attention Medicare eligible recipients. The Medicare open enrollment period for 2026 runs from October 15th until December 7th. This is the time to call local agent Brenda Myers at 724-437-7255 and let her show you the various Medicare Advantage plans and Part D prescription drug plans and see which best fits your current healthcare needs and your budget. Brenda will also update you on the changes for 2026 and how they will affect you. With many years' experience, Brenda Myers can help you decide which plan will work best for you. Brenda Myers has been helping Medicare beneficiaries with their health care insurance for many years and represents a variety of companies to offer you more choices. This open enrollment period is your opportunity to make changes to your health care plan and save money. Call Brenda Myers today at 724-437-7255. That's 724-437-7255 for Brenda Myers.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
The winners are in for the 2025 Best in Fayette contest presented by Nemacolin. You can pick up your free 2025-26 Best in Fayette book at the WMBS Broadcast House, the Uniontown Super 8, Casey Sports Cafe, the Uniontown Shop and Save, Perry Drug, Jackson Farms Dairy Store, Armstrong in Connellsville, the Casino at Nemacolin, Bittersweet Cafe, Neubauer's Market House, Uniontown Liquidation Outlet, and the River's Edge. See all the winners at bestinfayette.com.
When you are looking to make some extra cash for your aluminum cans, visit Cherokee Recycling, where aluminum can is king. Cherokee Recycling is open Monday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturdays 8 to 12 noon, closed Sundays and holidays. Give Marcus or Braggs a call today, 724-439-3228 for Cherokee Recycling, where recycling makes the most sense.
If it's national or local, every decision that these politicians make affects at some point. It trickles down to your own home.
There is a gubernatorial race in New Jersey. CBS's Jerika Duncan.
They've been out on the campaign trail for months now with their messages, both really focusing on affordability for people here in New Jersey. But of course, we know this has national implications.
The Republican candidate's hoping to build on President Trump's unexpected gains in the state. In New York, it's the mayoral battle. President Trump endorsed former governor and Democrat Andrew Cuomo. CBS's Lilia Luciano is covering.
If you ask Governor Andrew Cuomo whether President Trump supports him, he says he does not support me. He opposes Zohran Mamdani.
In California, voters are deciding Proposition 50, which would allow Democrats to temporarily change the boundaries of U.S. House districts. CBS's Finn Gomez.
Democratic leaders, including Governor Gavin Newsom, who's led the charge here, say this is a direct response, a counterpunch, if you will, to the aggressive mid-cycle redistricting in Republican-led states like Texas, arguing California shouldn't play by old rules, while others redraw maps to their advantage.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is warning of chaos in the skies if the government shutdown goes on.
You will see mass flight delays, you'll see mass cancellations, and you may see us close certain parts of the airspace because we just cannot manage it because we don't have the air traffic controllers.
But Caitlin Huey Burns reports there may be progress on Capitol Hill.
Conversations happening, some proposals being talked about. There has not yet been any clear indication of what that looks like in terms of legislation, whether that might be a vote sometime this week.
Former Vice President Dick Cheney has died. Bradley Blackburn has more.
The flags above the White House were lowered to half staff in honor of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
I know the president is aware of the former vice president's passing.
Cheney helped shape Republican politics for decades, but following the January 6th assault on the Capitol, he and his family became sharp critics of President Trump.
He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power.
That earned him admiration from many Democrats.
Cheney was 84. The opening statements began today in the trial of a man charged with assault for throwing a sandwich at a federal agent in Washington, D.C. Sean Charles Dunn argues it was a protest. Prosecutors say it was a federal crime, and you can't go around throwing stuff at people because you're mad. On Wall Street today, stocks finish lower. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Cooler temperatures may be on the way, but you could still enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturers and customer guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 for a no-cost or obligation home consultation. Or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Ready to update your home? Find what you need at Zen's Construction Warehouse. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff will be happy to help you the old-fashioned way. Zen's is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 2. 485 Walnut Hill Road in Continental. Zen's Construction Warehouse, 724-366-8274. Or visit Zen's Construction Warehouse's Facebook page.
Zen's Construction Warehouse. Our surplus, your savings.
One country's aiming to wipe out cigarette smoking among young people. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez has that.
Born after 2006? If so, there is no smoking allowed for you in the Maldives. The country is the first to institute a general smoking ban. The new law states that anyone born after January 1st of 2007 is prohibited from purchasing, using, or being sold tobacco products. The World Health Organization estimates at least 21% of the archipelago's population over the age of 15 smoke cigarettes on a daily basis. The ban also extends to tourists drawn to the Maldives' picture-perfect beaches. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
A new UN report finds global climate plans have barely impacted future warming. They're required every 5 years under the Paris Agreement, but they're only expected to reduce warming by a small amount. I'm Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
The award-winning local, district, and statewide news is brought to you by Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon, 4500 PA 51. And now the news.
And a good evening. It is 6:05, and outside of our Davis & Davis studios, we are looking at, as we update the temperature on this Tuesday evening, 50 degrees under cloudy skies. We'll get to the weather watch and the sports in just a bit on this election night. The Fayette County Board of Elections has been advised by the Pennsylvania State Department that the Department of State inadvertently transferred the 2024 voter file to be downloaded for the electronic poll books in Fayette County instead of the 2025 file. All Fayette County precincts have been instructed to switch to their backup paper poll books at this time. If you encountered this error and were unable to vote, please return to your precinct to cast your ballot. Any provisional ballot cast because of this error will be counted. Polls open through 8 this evening. Mail-in ballots must be returned to the county elections office by 8 this evening as well. For more information, contact Mary Beth Kuznick, the director of Fayette County Election Bureau, at 724-430-1289, extension 101. And the WMBS election results coverage starts at 9:30 this evening on the air, on the radio, and online. The City of Uniontown regular council meeting scheduled for this week, Thursday the 6th of November, has been moved to Tuesday, November 18th at 7:30 p.m. in the City Council chambers. The City of Uniontown regular council meeting for December will be December 18th at 4:30 in the afternoon in the City Council chambers. At least 6 people were hospitalized following a mining accident last night in Greene County. It happened Monday evening at the Harvey Mine on Patterson Creek Road in Sycamore. No further information was released. Commissioners in Westmoreland County are voting to accept a bridge loan from the state treasurer's office. They are getting over $11 million to temporarily fund the county's Human Services Department. County Commissioner Ted Copa said it was shameful that he and the other commissioners had to vote in favor of taking out a loan and paying interest due to the continued state budget gridlock in Harrisburg. Westmoreland County officials furloughed over 100 workers in order to cut costs as they wait for full funding from the state. They say additional furloughs could be necessary if state lawmakers do not pass a budget measure soon. A man is admitting to damaging a police station in a cruiser in Washington County this year. Jacob Tinger has pled guilty to vandalism counts in connection with the April incident. Officials with the McDonald Police Force say Tinger used a baseball bat to smash windows and doors of the station in the window of a police vehicle. He'll be going to jail for at least 9 months and spending 2 years on probation. Technology is causing the death of another form of payment. More from Bree Tennis on why the check is no longer in the mail.
Target says only 3% of their transactions are with checks, so they banned them. So did Aldi, Old Navy, Lululemon, Whole Foods, and a long list of other companies. The Federal Reserve says it's good for business because credit or debit cards have less fraud. They're also faster at the checkout. It's the over 50 age group that still writes checks, and it's hard to give up, like having cash in your wallet, something the younger generation also doesn't grasp. I'm Bree Tennis.
Sports and weather next on WMPS.
Is it time for your first home? Or time to trade up to a home that fits your lifestyle? It's time to visit Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon. You'll find special savings along with trade-in and trade-up deals. Imagine beautiful, new, energy-efficient homes packed with the features you've been dreaming about. Trade in and trade up at Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon, 4500 PA 51. Trade-in value toward purchase of a new home determined by resale value and evaluation by home center manager. Additional deposit may be required.
In sports, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin met with the media today ahead of their Sunday night game against the Chargers in Los Angeles. On the injury front, Scotty Miller with the finger and Cole Holcomb with an illness could be out early in the week but could play Sunday. Isaac Seumalo, Chuck Clark, and Jabril Peppers are all dealing with ailments and injuries. They could also play against the Chargers. Also, the Steelers signed wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling to the practice squad, and he replaces cornerback Beanie Bishop on the roster, who was released this week. Steelers taking on the Chargers, looking for their second win in a row. Sunday night at 8 o'clock on WMBS. And the Steelers do not make any moves at the NFL's trade deadline that's officially closed. The big moves made by the Jets. They traded away cornerback Sauce Gardner to the Colts and defensive lineman Quinnen Williams to Dallas. Cowboys also added linebacker Logan Wilson from the Bengals. The Eagles made a move for Dolphins pass rusher Jalen Phillips. 2 wide receivers were moved to the deadline, with the Raiders sending Jacoby Myers to the Jags and the Saints trading away Rashid Shaheed to Seattle. Penguins are back in action Thursday against Washington at 7:30 on WMBS, and live election night coverage tonight starting at 9:30 on WMBS.
The local, district, and statewide news was brought to you by Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon, 4500 PA 51.
The Weather Watch is being brought to you by State Farm agent Nathan Ferguson. Call Nate at 724-438-7611 for life, home, car insurance, and more. Get a free quote now.
50 right now, went up to 58 today, overnight low at 42. Chance of rain moving in Wednesday, warming up to 67 with the overnight low dropping down to 37. 52 with sun Thursday. Rain likely Friday at 67, low in the evening 49. Chance of showers Saturday, later in the day, otherwise clouds and sun 60. Only at 54 Thursday with rain. Chance of some light snow 30. Overnight Sunday, and a chance of snow flurries Monday, only going up to 35 with the overnight low down to 27. Right now it's 6:11 on a Tuesday, election night. It is 50 degrees outside of our Davis & Davis studios. Good evening, I'm Nick Barczyk. On the way next, it is more of the Afternoon Drive Show with Doug Saltzman on WMBS. Good evening.
The Weather Watch has been brought to you by State Farm agent Nathan Ferguson. Nate is there for you. Call 724-438-7611 for life, home, car insurance, and more.
Live Casino is celebrating its 5-year anniversary by giving away $50,000 in prizes. Get in on the fun November 17th through 23rd. Play with your Live Rewards card for a chance to win your share of $50,000 in prizes. Plus, enjoy $5 specials all week long, like our $5 social margaritas, $5 nachos, $5 pretzels, and more. Celebrate 5 at Live. Live Casino, Route 30 at Westmoreland Mall. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, you don't have to travel too far for medical marijuana products. Go to Local Leaf in Scottdale for a wide variety of locally grown and locally sourced products, plus your questions answered on medical marijuana, qualifying medical conditions, or how to register for your medical card. Local Leaf by PHG off Route 119 in Scottdale, 412-417-4964. Online at localleafpa.com. Local Leaf, your medical marijuana dispensary with locally grown and locally sourced products in Scottdale.
In 1986, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville was started with a promise to provide clients with truthful, friendly, and courteous service. It worked. With an expanded client base, the Firestone Insurance Agency's customers are now able to choose from over 20 well-known insurance companies. So whether it be auto, home, business, or life, Firestone has you covered, and the promise to provide truthful, friendly, and courteous service is still in place. As an independent insurance agency, the Firestone Insurance Agency works for you. They do the shopping for you to save you time and a bunch of needless phone calls. Because let's face it, no one loves to shop for insurance. Call the office at 724-455-3900 or visit firestoneinsurance.net. Can't make it to Normalville? Let the Firestone Insurance Agency bring service right to your kitchen table. The Firestone Insurance Agency, 724-455-3900 or firestoneinsurance.net. Doing what is right for the customer, finding the most affordable rates while making sure there are no coverage gaps so you are fully protected from the unforeseen.
For professional cleaning services, Clean and Shine in New Stanton is the place for you. They provide commercial and residential cleaning, porter services, carpet cleaning, stripping and waxing, construction cleanups, and car cleaning. For free estimates, call 724-691-0413, email info@cleanandshine14.org, or visit their website, cleanandshine14.org. We clean so you can shine.
Experiencing symptoms of COPD? Frontier Clinical Research in Scottdale has been selected to conduct a clinical research study, and participants are needed. All study-related care will be provided at no cost, and no health insurance is required. Compensation up to $2,200 for qualified participants for time and travel. To learn more, call Frontier Clinical Research in Scottdale at 724-220-5281. That's Frontier Clinical Research in Scottdale at 724-220-5281. One of the most incredible architectural masterpieces in the United States is right here in Fayette County. And this fall is your chance to see the work being done to preserve this national treasure as work continues to fortify Frank Lloyd Wright's Fallingwater, a world-famous work of architecture that's on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Falling Water invites you to Fayette County Appreciation Day on Sunday, November 23rd to see their multi-year historic preservation effort in action, in addition to the always breathtaking home itself. Falling Water is offering free tours for Fayette County residents on Sunday, November 23rd. Book your free tour of Falling Water in advance by calling 724-329-8501. Falling Water's Preservation in Action tours will take place between 9:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. Be sure to make your reservation in advance and don't miss your chance to witness this once-in-a-lifetime preservation tour of Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
Our general managers in studio just told us that Ali Sheba won the Kentucky Derby in 1987. He is
Wow.
an absolute. Brian has a memory that is computer-like.
It's a steel trap.
It's amazing. I always joke. He's a big race fan. We've talked racing on the radio. Brian knows more about Indy 500 races that I actually went to than I do, and I was there.
It's scary.
Of course, you have a few beers when you're at the Indy 500, and you
A
can
few.
probably see the race much better on TV.
I could only enjoy it
than
if I had a
inside
few
the
beers.
fourth turn or
Yeah,
something.
I'd have to be drunk to enjoy that, but hey, to each their own.
It's a, if you're not into racing, it's still a bucket list thing. You got to go to an Indy 500 at some point.
All right.
It's 400,000 people watching a race. And
Sounds
it's
like a
back to-
blast.
What?
Sounds like a blast.
It's a hoot, that's for sure.
It's a hoot.
Joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, former state senator, former state auditor general, Jack Wagner. Mr. Wagner,
Doug
thanks for joining us
Holtzman.
today. How are you?
I'm good, Doug. How you doing?
I'm good. It's nice to have you on the air, joining us today on Election Day 2025. Looking at both sides of the aisle. A little earlier in the show, we had former Governor Tom Corbett, and I'm glad to have you on to get both sides of the aisle and get thoughts on election. And the one interesting thing, when you and I were talking earlier to set up the interview, you mentioned a committee that you serve on with Rocky Bleier, both, of course, Vietnam veterans. And we had Rocky on one time, and he started talking about the importance of independents getting to vote in primaries. And I guess two of you serve on a committee about that very topic, correct?
Yes, we have, and it was a committee that was very active going back 2 to 3 years ago, and for some reason, Doug, it fizzled. And it probably fizzled because it didn't get enough interest from the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, meaning that you need support in Harrisburg to permit independents to vote in primary elections. In other words, you need a bill passed. That simply has not happened. So it probably lost interest, and as a result of that, we're where we are today, where we were 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting, too. I've seen polling that shows, I think most people think independents are former Democrats or progressive in their thinking, liberal in their thinking. That's not the case. It's almost evenly split at times. In fact, some areas, there are more conservatives who consider themselves independents. And usually it's because, an individual is upset with the party they used to be part of, so they go independent. But yeah, it's a strange situation where a person who is just decides doesn't want to be a member of one party or another can't vote in the primary. I mean, you can be members of other parties, Green Party, Libertarian. That doesn't mean there's going to be a candidate for you to vote for in a primary. So yeah, I guess the parties like their power is one way to put it, and whether it's a municipal committee or a statewide committee, I guess they view that perhaps as problematic when it comes to primaries.
Well, the bottom line is, Doug, that 80 to 90% of elections are determined in the primary. Now, the average citizen will just say, how is that possible? Well, it's possible between in the rural areas. Generally, we elect Republicans. In the city areas, we generally elect Democrats in the general election. So we need to have more diversity in the primary election, and some of these candidates don't have opponents. They don't have opponents in primary elections, so they're in essence getting ready to run in the general election. Today was the general election,
right.
So it would, and the shame of it all is that less than 10%. 10% of the states in our country. Which means that Pennsylvania is behind the times. In other words, people who are registered as independents should be able to vote in primary elections, so they have more influence in the final election, which is the general election, which is what today is.
Yeah. For instance, the mayor's race in the city of Pittsburgh basically decided in the primary. It's 5-1 Democratic voter registration. Yeah, there is a Republican candidate running, but the chance of that person winning is nil.
I would bet 50-1, 50-1 odds that the Democrat O'Connor, which is a good young man, I think he'll be a good mayor. He will win the election tonight.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You've had back-to-back mayor's races where incumbents have lost the primary. Again, I'm a political geek. I don't ever remember that happening. I'm sure it did at some point, but back-to-back mayor's races where incumbents lose a primary, very, very rare, let alone twice in 4 years to have that occur. I do recall, and we'll place this into my political geekness, that back in the day when Richard Caligiuri became mayor, when Pete Flaherty retired to become assistant U.S. attorney in the Carter administration, he just said, okay, I'll take the position. He became mayor because he was president of the city council, but he said, I'm not going to run for mayor. Then he decided to, and he ran as an independent. A lot of folks may have forgotten that, beat Tom Forster, who was the Democratic nominee back in those days.
That's right. Good memory. Excellent memory. And
I can't remember my daughter's name.
Dick Caligiuri was a very good mayor for this town.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was some bitterness there, but he ended up working with Tom Forster later, who became chairman of the county commissioners in Allegheny County. But so it proves it happened that far back. It could happen perhaps again, but it works better if it's in the primary, I suppose.
Well, that's true, but keep in mind, when you look at these elections today, huge sums of monies go behind certain candidates, and they are by far have the best chance of winning when you have so much money that you can advertise in a multitude of ways. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, you'll see people writing $1 million checks to control someone winning an office, no matter where the office may be.
Yeah, of course, there's no limits. I mean, back in the days when I worked for Arlen Specter, before there was independent expenditures, the most he could raise from one person in an election cycle was $2,200, and the governor was getting $250,000 donations. He's like, man, wouldn't it be nice to be able to get a check for $250,000?
Right, or if it doesn't go to the candidate, it goes to the committee, the Republican committee or the Democrat committee.
Right. So,
and from there, they then choose who receives and who has the best chance of winning.
Yeah, it's a whole different world now. Good heavens! I think the first race when I was with Specter in '86, he spent $6 million. The next race was about double that. The last U.S. Senate race between Bob Casey Jr. and Dave McCormick was $200 million. I would think you'd have a race for anything that would cost $200 million. Good for the economy, I suppose. Radio stations and TV stations don't mind it. Print shops, you name it. But man, who would ever think in our lifetimes that a race would go from $6 million in 1986 to $200 million in 2024? It just boggles the mind, the amount of money out there that is spent.
So how are we going to change it?
Yeah, that's the issue. The courts have come down, and good heavens, corporations can make direct donations now to campaigns. labor unions can make direct donations. In the past, that was a no-no. People went to jail for using corporate money for political donations.
Right.
It comes down to a matter of freedom of speech, and is there just going to be endless cash available? Good heavens! You think Kamala Harris, who ran a race in 107 days, raised over $1 billion? $1 billion.
$1 billion, incredible.
Yeah, you think of that, and in 107 days. It's not like she was running for president for 3.5 years.
Well, and that wasn't $10 bills and $50 bills. That was $100,000 checks and maybe $1 million checks.
Yeah, it's amazing with the system how it's become at this point. The effort following Watergate was to get money out of politics, and that's why they put those donation limits on federal campaigns. But with the independent expenditures anymore, it's almost what the candidate raises doesn't mean much, frankly, considering what's out there. As we talk with, go ahead.
Right, go ahead.
As we talk with former State Auditor General Jack Wagner, and you're a great example of that. You started City Council and became President of City Council, and kind of moved your way up. Not kind of, you definitely moved your way up to statewide office, and you probably did that with less money than one donation to a presidential campaign. Or the independent
there's no doubt about that. There's a lot of knocking on the doors, coming up with new ideas. When I ran for city council was a all city election, not broken up into 9 districts as it is today. So it was more difficult back then to win a council race. But the beauty of it was, if you did win the race and you wanted to run for a higher office, such as mayor, such as a state senator, which is what happened to me, you have a better name recognition, and you need less revenue to run for the office.
Right. Yeah. Of course, the city of Pittsburgh, which has about 360,000 residents, is now divided into 9 districts, 9 council districts, and that's something I think it's been around for about 30 years now, maybe 20 years. When they decided
and Pittsburgh, with a population of a little over $300,000, the winner tonight will probably have 45,000 votes at most.
Yeah, and isn't that a shame? And when you don't have competition like that, we were talking about that earlier. There are 17 races for district attorney in Pennsylvania today. Only 5 is there a challenger.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 out of 17. And that makes you scratch your head. Like, how could that be? This is a district attorney's position. Of course, the big ones in Philadelphia, there's a lot of attention being paid to that. But you think that you have 12 races for district attorney where there's no challenger.
And the interesting part, getting back to the independent, Doug, is that they've done some surveys on that, and a high rate of veterans are independent. I'm a veteran. I'm very involved in a couple of veteran nonprofit organizations, Pittsburgh Hires Veterans and Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs. But veterans, sometimes, especially when you're in uniform, if someone says to you, hey, you're a Democrat, hey, you're a Republican, no, you're not. A veteran, more so than most people, will say, I'm an American first.
Right.
And then I may join a party one way or the other.
And their commander-in-chief was their commander-in-chief. It didn't matter what party they were in when they were in the service.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the other group of people is the media. Generally, the media, your station, the people that run the stations in all probability are independents. They don't want to take a side. So the news that they're sending out does not appear to be in any way favored one way or the other.
Yeah. Otherwise, we would only take ads from one side of the aisle, and
that's right.
No common sense is going to radio station is going to do that. For heaven's sakes, that's not the role we play. And we just have a couple minutes left with Jack Wagner. You mentioned a moment ago, and we've had you on the radio show before talking about the Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs. I know you were your title at the time. I think it's still the same one, Regional Development Director. Tell us what that is. The Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs. since you brought it up.
Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs is a national nonprofit that raises, and trains medical service dogs, primarily German Shepherds. Highly trains these dogs a year and a half to 2 years, and the dogs are finally given, and I repeat, given to mostly veterans and first responders that have serious issues. And serious issues generally mean invisible and visible wounds from war, from first responders, police officers, paramedics, firefighters, but mostly veterans that have worn the uniform and have fought in wars. Especially in today's world, Doug, in that many veterans, when they're in the military, actually served in war zones multiple times. And you can only imagine going to Iraq and spending 5 months there and then coming home and being a father. And 6 months later, they call you back and you're back over there to Iraq or Afghanistan fighting in a war, a continual war. These kinds of pressures on individuals really makes their adjustment back to being a civilized citizen without problems very difficult. And many of our people that receive the dog are veterans, and it's working great. We've provided almost 500 dogs to veterans, and we've had no suicides. The suicide rate in our country for veterans is twice that of the general population. It's really a solution to addressing a problem that the Veterans Administration have been challenged for decades and have not solved it. And we think this is one of the solutions.
What's the website if folks want to go more information on that group?
You go to Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs, our website. You can find out more information there. You can call me anytime, 412-352-1111.
There we go. Jack, thanks so much. We appreciate your taking time to join us today. Always enjoy our conversations with you.
Same here, Doug. Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thanks.
Bye.
We're going to take a break, folks. We come back. Now we're going to switch to the other side of the aisle. We're going to check in with former United States Senator Rick Santorum, who told me earlier today he's been doing a lot of interviews in New York, which is the biggest election, I think, getting more attention than anything, even the governor's races in New Jersey or Virginia. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive Show on WMBS.
I'm Aaron Zolbrod, owner and founder of the health insurance store in Connellsville, and I have an important message for those on Medicare. Premiums for Part B, Advantage plans, and supplements are all increasing for 2026. In addition, many people will be faced with higher medical copays and $600 to $1,400 in additional out-of-pocket medication costs next year. Don't panic. You have options, and the health insurance store can compare every competitive Advantage plan and supplement side by side, ensuring that you get the coverage you need at a price you can afford. Since 2008, over 20,000 people have put their trust in the health insurance store to help them navigate the Medicare maze. With all the current and future changes, higher premiums, and out-of-pocket costs, never has it been more important to have an experienced and caring agency looking out and advocating for you. For a no-cost consultation, call the health insurance store at 724-603-3403. 603-3403, or visit us online, www.getyourbestplan.com. Getyourbestplan.com.
Hey love, I'm Tiffany from Tiffany Smith Fine Art Studios, serving up confidence boosts in Periopolis in our brand new luxury studio in downtown Pittsburgh. I'm not just here to take your picture, I'm here to help you remember who you are. Whether it's been a wild few years or you're just feeling a little blah, this is your permission slip to feel powerful again. You'll laugh, maybe cry, and leave feeling like that girl. Book your experience at TiffanySmithFineArtStudios.com because you deserve to be seen.
When you are looking to make some extra cash for your aluminum cans, visit Cherokee Recycling, where aluminum can is king. Cherokee Recycling is open Monday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturdays 8 to 12 noon, closed Sundays and holidays. Give Marcus or Braggs a call today, 724-439-3228 for Cherokee Recycling, where recycling makes the most sense.
Hello, I'm attorney Jeremy Davis from the law firm of Davis & Davis. We have been helping the great people of Fayette County for over 45 years with personal injury claims. If you are hurt or injured, call our law firm for your free consultation. The insurance companies are not on your side. Call us today at 724-437-2799. Either myself or an attorney from our office will personally come out and meet with you. If you're in an accident or hurt, call us at Davis & Davis, 724-437-2799 for your free consultation. Let us fight for you.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has 2 convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Borges.
Located on Route 40 and voted best in Fayette Hotel and Lodging, Super 8 in Uniontown offers value and amenities like free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and guest laundry to help make your stay hassle-free. The staff at Super 8 Uniontown is committed to providing consistent quality, exceptional service, and affordable accommodations. Their prime location offers jacuzzi suites and a true Fayette County hospitality with easy access to nearby attractions, dining, and entertainment for you to enjoy. As part of the trusted Wyndham brand, Super 8 provides a consistent and reliable experience. Book direct at super8.com.
That sounds like Aerosmith bringing us out of the break. I guess they're done touring, right? Didn't he say that?
Yeah, Steven Tyler can't sing anymore, and, well, that's a shame. Never got to see him.
Oh, they'll still go on tour.
You saw Aerosmith, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, he'll stay in the background and play guitar.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of the first time I saw Aerosmith was at the old Syria Mosque in Oakland.
Oh, my gosh. The now defunct. Yeah.
There was a guy named Jim Furlow who was this very, very liberal city councilman, senator at one point. I told him, because he was opposed to them tearing it down. I said, it's the only time I ever agreed with you, Jim.
Yeah.
When he was opposing tearing down the Syria Mosque. A lot of great concerts out in those days.
Gosh.
Joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, former United States Senator Rick Santorum. Senator, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
And former Syria Mosque attendees. So there you go. How about that?
There we go. Yeah, great concerts at the Syria Mosque. That was a great place. Now it's been a parking lot ever since.
It is. Yeah.
And that's a shame because that was a
progress, right? Progress.
Yeah. Because there's not enough parking lots in Oakland, I suppose. I don't know. But it was a great place to see shows out there. Well, it's election day, and I know you've been doing a lot of interviews today. Big races around the country for governor in New Jersey and Virginia, but nothing's got more attention nationally than this mayor's race in New York City. It is just mind-boggling who the candidates are, frankly, and the fact that usually when somebody's called a socialist, they deny it. The candidate is proud to say he's a democratic socialist. It's bizarre, to say the least.
Yeah, in fact, you can call him a communist and he doesn't get that upset. So no, he's the real deal, and he doesn't back away from it. But it just tells you the state of the Democratic Party, that they have increasingly become the socialist party in America. I mean, Bernie Sanders has set the standard for a long, long time. He's been the North Star of the Democratic Party now for the past dozen or more years. And, when you have a socialist, a quote, Democrat socialist, and that's what Bernie Sanders is, he never really denied that he was a socialist. And if he's your ideological leader and he's grooming, and I say that not in a negative way, but if he's grooming the next generation of Democrats, which he is, because the Bernie bros are all young folks, and you have the colleges and universities that are teaching all this stuff, what do you expect? I mean, what do you expect the Democratic Party to become? And here we are. And it's not just here, but you've got a socialist running in Seattle. You've got a socialist running in a whole bunch of other cities. I mean, 4 or 5 other cities in America where you're probably going to elect a socialist mayor to these towns. And this is, again, not just it's not a bug. It's a feature.
Yeah. And what's happening in cities like Portland. And we were, we joked about it. It's not really a joke. When you had to invent a term to undo policy. They're recriminalizing drug use. I don't know if that word ever existed before, to recriminalize something. But when you think about how they decided it might be the best idea to let public drug use take place and what it's done to that city. A friend of mine grew up there, and he went back one day, and he said he felt like crying to see what has happened to his city. He now lives out in this region.
Well, that's what, I mean, Madami is for decriminalization. Madami is for decriminalization of drugs, decriminalization of prostitution. I mean, again, if New York will be a no-crime area if nothing's a crime. So you can say, well, we've decreased crime. Well, it's because there's no such thing as crime anymore. So I guess you can say, oh, look, all the crime reduction we've done. That's because we decriminalized everything.
Yeah, and then they'll say, "Here, look, there's less people in jail nowadays." Well, that's it.
Yeah,
that would follow the same.
That's great.
So, you look at this. How did it happen that this man, Mamdani, managed to get elected? 34 years old, a slim resume. To be able to pull this off, frankly, is amazing. Now he's up against Andrew Cuomo, of course. I don't know what's going to happen in this race. There's a third party candidate. I guess he's still with the Guardian Angels, Curtis Sliwa.
Oh, he's an icon from a different era.
Right.
But how did it happen? Oh, combination of things. Number one, you have Bernie and AOC who run the Democratic Party, and particularly in AOC's case, the Democratic Party in New York, and he was elected. Again, with the support of AOC as a councilman here, he made his claim to fame. He's a young, articulate, attractive guy, and he ran a good campaign when he ran for city council. Made a name for himself a little bit there, and AOC got behind him. The socialists got behind him, and what was the alternative? Eric Adams, a guy who's under indictment and who's made a mess of things in New York. Andrew Cuomo, who got thrown out as governor of New York. I mean, when your opponents are retreads who are deplorables unto themselves, and your base has become AOC and the hard left, that's how you get Zohran Mamdani.
Yeah, there's really no national leader of the Democratic Party, and if Mamdani were to get elected,
I mean, I disagree with you. I think she'll be the nominee of the Democratic Party.
Wow, that's amazing. Well,
who else? Give me somebody else, Doug.
And you're right. No, you're absolutely right. And the co-chair would be Mamdani if he manages to get himself elected, the most prominent Democrat, socialist, I suppose, in the country. It'll be a trifecta of him and Bernie and AOC. A friend of mine who's very liberal, and we talk politics a lot, just shakes his head. He said, "This is not the Democratic Party I joined when I was 18." Yes, he's liberal, but he's not AOC. That's what he always says. And he said, "I don't know what's happening here." And then, of course,
what's happening is a logical evolution of the party. And it decided that they were going to become the party of the left, and you can make the argument that this is just logical, that you just become more and more extreme, and that's what's happened. And because that's sort of the logical end to a lot of these policies, which is just more and more power, more and more government, more and more control, because that's what the left basically preaches. And they'll make the argument, well, the right is the same way. But in fact, what you've seen with Trump in particular is he's certainly not becoming, from a traditional conservative point of view, a conservative. I mean, he's not for small government. He's not for limited government. He's not for, pushing things back to the states and federalism. I mean, he's not for cutting spending. I mean, he is, by every estimate, a very moderate, and that the party seems to be moving to more moderate populism, which not traditional conservatism. So it's a whole different thing. And Trump was able to carry that off. The Democrats, if they're going to not destroy the country, and I think they have a chance to do so if they continue down this track and start winning elections, which I think ultimately they probably will. You need someone who's a transformational figure to pull them back from the brink, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, we're talking with former United States Senator Rick Santorum. We have governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey. What's the indication of what's happening there, and will these results be bellwethers?
I mean, you go back and look at first off, the blue states. The blue states where Trump made some gains the last time around, but he made some gains in an environment where Biden was incredibly unpopular and they had a terrible candidate, Kamala Harris, And so, yes, they made gains, but they, he still lost those states by 6 or 7 points. And if you look at both those states, historically, these states, just like now, their governors are up right after a presidential year, and they usually go on the other way. Whoever wins the presidential race, I think 50 years that's been the case in Virginia, that the Republican has won in Virginia when a Democrat's in, and a Democrat wins when a Republican's in. And that's somewhat the case in New Jersey, although Democrats have won more of those races. So I don't see, look, could Winsome Sears win? Yes, I think the chances are, single digits, close to zero for her to win, particularly. And people say, why are the Democrats doing the government shutdown? I'll tell you, one of the reasons they're doing it is to piss off a lot of federal workers, so they go and vote against Donald Trump in Virginia. So I hate to be cynical, but I suspect within 2 or 3 days, the government shutdown is going to end after this election, and the attempt that they did to motivate voters to go out and vote because of Donald Trump's shutdown will they'll now say, okay, we've accomplished what we want, we've won elections, now we'll move on. And so I think it's going to be unlikely that Republican win in Virginia. And look, Chitterelli's run a good race. Mikey Sherrill has not in New Jersey, so there's a chance. And maybe the Mondami effect, some people are saying that North Jersey is afraid and may want a Republican to sort of combat him. I still think Sherrill wins.
Yeah. Chuck Schumer, of course, who is the Democratic leader of the Democrats in the Senate, seems to be running scared of what he can do, considering that AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Congresswoman, keeps talking about running against him. She's not going to. I don't think she's going to run against him, but she will run someone against him from the left. Right. And I think she's going to run for president. I do. But I think she will have someone, and maybe Mondami, I don't know, but someone will, probably not him, but someone will run against Schumer, supported by her, and that's what he's afraid of. Yeah, and he seems to be making every step, wondering, and I'm making, this is a big prediction here, a guess, but it seems like everything he's doing is based on that option, that he's afraid of his own party, frankly.
Well, I think all the Democrats are afraid of their own party. I mean, people say that Republicans are afraid of Trump, and they are, and they don't want to cross Trump. That's absolutely true, but the Democrats don't want to cross their base, and that is overwhelmingly leftist socialists who are now dominant in the Democratic Party. I mean, you look at the polls, a majority of Democrats in America prefer socialism over capitalism. I mean, this is the Democratic Party today. You can say, well, it's not my father's Democratic Party, and you're absolutely right, but a lot of those people are still voting Democrat, thinking somehow this is going to change, and I'm telling you, it's not.
Yeah, my parents were both Democrats, and one day my dad said, I was born a Democrat. That was the era of FDR. He was born in 1935, and I don't know how Dad voted. I never talked politics with him, but yeah, I don't. He's now been gone for about 10 years, and I can't imagine he would look at who's in there now and think, okay, that's not the Democratic Party I joined when I turned 21, which you had to be that old when you voted.
That's why Pennsylvania went from 1.2 million more Democrats and Republicans to a couple 100,000 is because a lot of people just said, and we're down in southwestern Pennsylvania where you are, northeastern Pennsylvania, northwestern Pennsylvania, and they just said, this party is not the values or, whether the love of country, the believing in hard work and personal responsibility and all those things that, we all believed in. That's not the Democratic Party anymore. Yeah. It's a socialist party. And for those who spent a generation fighting socialism and sacrificing their lives against it, here we are.
Yeah. Senator Rick Santorum is joining us on the Afternoon Drive show. Before we wrap up, and I hope you have another moment, I wanted to talk about now former Vice President Dick Cheney, who passed away.
Yeah.
His service to his country coming in perhaps one of the best resumes for vice president ever. When you think at 36 years of age, he was chief of staff to President Nixon, and of course then Secretary of Defense.
President Ford.
Oh, President Ford. I'm sorry. You're right. President Ford,
That's
not
okay.
Nixon. It just that resume alone, and of course he's changed the spots in the last presidential election, but the role he played in the Bush administration was as close to a co-presidency, and I mean that as a compliment. It truly was a working vice president compared to others who were sort of afterthoughts.
Yeah, I think that's true with respect to particularly national security issues. I think Dick was really the go-to guy particularly in the first term, the go-to guy in the White House on national security issues. I'm not sure that I could say that was necessarily the case overall, because I don't think Dick really. I mean, I served with him and know him pretty well. I don't think that Dick as much cared about the other issues. I think he did care about our national security posture. Obviously, he had been Secretary of Defense, and so it was a very big part of what he cared about. But you're right; he was a consequential vice president, and in my mind, he got a lot of things right. Like any other person, and me included, you get some things wrong, and you don't get things wrong because you look at all the information and you say, "Well, the hell with it! I'm going to do what I want." Sometimes the information you look at isn't particularly good, and I think that was the case, particularly with the Iraq War. We just got a lot of bad information, and it turned out to result in a bad decision, which bad information does.
Yeah, and it's sort of interesting when you think about that role he played, the role of vice president. It's one of those positions. If you're not involved enough, you get criticized. If you're too involved, you get criticized. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. And and we've had vice presidents who, you think about someone like Lyndon Johnson, who was one of the most powerful people in Washington, was an absolute afterthought in the short Kennedy
administration. Because Kennedy hated him. I mean, all the Kennedy family hated the guy. They thought he was a complete, pick, and someone that they didn't want to deal with. Whereas, I think obviously Bush had a lot of respect for Cheney, and I mean, you look at the current situation. I mean, I think JD is, seen as sort of an underling, someone who's in training more than someone who's a partner.
Right. Exactly. Nobody ever expected Dick Cheney to run for president. They knew that. Bush was never looking over his shoulder. A guy who had 6 heart attacks or something like that. You don't look over your shoulder or something like that. Yeah, that's right. He made it to 84. He was a tough son of a gun. Yeah, he had a heart transplant. I mean, I remember meeting Dick when I was a freshman congressman when he was Secretary of Defense, under Bush 1, and he didn't look good then. He had many heart attacks. I said, wow, he's not long for this world, and my goodness, God bless him. He lived to 84 years of age. Some people just refuse to go. That's sure. Tough. He was a tough old bird. Good for him. That's for sure. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. Your busy day. I'm sure you got more interviews going tonight, no doubt. Yeah, I'm here in New York at Newsmax, so tune in. We'll have good election coverage, and hopefully I'm wrong, and we'll be surprised with some good results. We'll see what happens. Senator, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye. Right. Senator Rick Santorum. A lot of enthusiasm, Rick. He's going to be on Newsmax. He's been on CNN. He's been, who knows else. He's doing interviews all around New York City today. And he takes time to talk to us, and he just doesn't mail it in. He is very strong in his opinions about things, and it's critical on both sides of the aisle. He talked about President Trump not being a small government guy, and so interesting to hear Rick talk about that. He ran for president a couple of times. The one time he got, can you say screwed? I guess you can. He ran. He on election night he lost the Iowa caucuses. 2 weeks later, they figured out he had won them. Yes, but at that point he had lost so much momentum that was it. So yeah, interesting. See what happens here. I think. I said this a couple times today, and I was wrong. I'm glad he corrected me. That Dick Cheney was chief of staff to Gerald Ford, not Richard Nixon. Ford, yes. Ford, when he came in following Nixon's resignation. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Third half, we're going to be here till 8 o'clock tonight. Then we'll play some music around these parts, and then election coverage starts at 8:30. Somebody sent me an email earlier. I'm sorry, starts at 9:30. 9:30. Somebody sent me an email and said, "Why isn't the election coverage starting right at 8? I said, well, we don't have results to report. I emailed back to the person at radiosaltzman@gmail.com. So, yeah, it makes sense to come in a little later when you have something to talk about when the results start coming in. As you heard in the news, there are some issues today with the State Department elections sending the wrong voter information to various counties around the state, not just Fayette, both Republican and Democratic counties. A mix-up, of course. Government's not perfect. who is for that matter. But no, we appreciate Rick Santorum joining us. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
Feeling lucky? Your next big jackpot is waiting for you. Visit the casino at Nemacolin in Farmington, PA for the ultimate casino experience featuring the hottest table games, daily promotions, big-time giveaways, and an exciting variety of premium slots. And after, celebrate your big win with a juicy burger at the Royale while you watch the big game. Hotel packages available. Visit CasinoNemacolin.com for more information. The Casino at Nemacolin. Game on. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Mark-On Building Supply has provided the tri-state area with ready-mix concrete and building supplies for decades. Family-owned and operated and built on a foundation of trust, integrity, and exceptional quality, Mark-On is your local leader for ready-mix concrete, precast, lumber, tools, electrical, plumbing, lawn care, and general building supply needs. Visit the store in Markleysburg or call Mark-On today at 724-329-5542. Mark-On Building Supply, your one-stop shop for all your home building and construction needs. Tune in to WMBS, the second and fourth Thursdays monthly at 10:30 a.m. for an all-new radio program with Pete Crackle, Director of Clinical Operations and Pharmacist at Nickman's Drug. Pete will explore a myriad of health-related topics and talk about how a strong relationship with your pharmacist is vital for your best health. So mark your listening calendars and be sure to catch the all-new show the second and fourth Thursday each month. Need a pharmacy? Visit Nickman's Drug today at any of their 7 area locations. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor area with a new fence from All Around Fence Company. Conveniently located at 7896 National Pike, Uniontown. All Around Fence has been installing quality residential, commercial, and farm fencing for more than 45 years. Offering residential fencing including chain link, decorative aluminum, steel, and more, All Around Fence has the fence for you. All Around Fence is also your one-stop shop for Nutrena products and also carries livestock, equine, and pet supplies. So if you need to upgrade an existing fence, add a new gate, or are considering the installation of an all-new fence, All Around Fence has the answers you need. Visit them Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 1, or give them a call at 724-439-0331. To learn more, visit allaroundfence.com.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
WMBS.
Rolling Stones bring us out of the break. We're just a little over a minute away from the CBS News Wound Up Late Edition. Did I say wound up? Wound up.
Oh, the wound up.
The wound up.
Barbara Wawa.
I don't know if that's if something could be wound up.
Could be.
Or that's Elmer Fudd. One of the two.
Wesley Wabbit.
But nonetheless, it's a minute away. And then I think we're having local news by Nick after that. Nick, are you planning
It's not scheduled, but we'll throw Radio PA in there if you're tired
Radio
of talking.
PA. We'll throw
we can
that
just
one in there.
BS.
And then we're going to open the line. So if you want to be first up after the top of the hour, give us a call on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, 724-438-4669. 724-438-4593. It is election day. You want to talk about elections, have at it. Or naturally, any topic you want to bring up, feel free to do that. Then we're going to check in with our friend Keith Schmidt. We're going to do a pregame analysis on the election with him today. And then tomorrow we're going to do the post-game analysis of the election with our friend Christopher Nicholas, editor of Pennsylvania Political Digest. So all that coming up. We're with you till 8 o'clock tonight. It's the late edition of the Afternoon Drive Show. Election coverage starts right here on WMBS at 9:30. I'm Doug. That's Nick. Stick around for the news. Thanks for listening.
Voters cast ballots in several states.
Issues in my mind really are the survival of democracy.
Former vice president has died.
Dick Cheney will be remembered as one of the most influential vice presidents in history.
14th vote taken in the Senate to end the shutdown.
The motion is not agreed to.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. New Jersey voters are choosing a new governor. The race is tight. Former state legislator Jack Ciattarelli is endorsed by President Trump. His challenger is U.S. Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill. CBS's Finn Gomez.
Both candidates are framing the race as almost a referendum on the state's cost of living. Democratic Mikey Sherrill is pitching herself as a centrist problem solver who can lower costs without cutting essential services. Republican Jack Ciattarelli, meanwhile, says Democrats have had decades to fix affordability and have failed.
The polls are now closed in Virginia in a closely watched Democrat race for governor, which CBS estimates is leaning Democrat. It will be historic.
I'm Allison Keyes in Washington. Either candidate would be the first woman to lead the Commonwealth. The Democratic gubernatorial nominee is former U.S. Representative Abigail Spanberger. This voter chose
Miss Abigail. She's a mom, it's for abortion.
But this one picked Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Spears.
Especially with the economy, she really stood out to me this year.
Earl Spears would be the first black woman elected governor in the nation.
The Virginia lieutenant governor's race is also estimated as leaning Democrat. The race for New York City mayor has drawn a lot of voters in early voting and to the polls today.
I voted for Mamdani.
Andrew Cuomo. Yeah. Who not necessarily we like.
Cuomo, the former governor who resigned over sexual harassment allegations, is running as an independent. Democrat Zohran Mamdani has been leading in the polls, and Republican Curtis Sliwa is third. In California, voters are choosing whether or not Democrats can redraw congressional maps. And breaking news today, a U.S. UPS plane headed to Honolulu has crashed on takeoff from the airport in Louisville, Kentucky, igniting a huge fire on the ground. 3 people were aboard the plane. Former Vice President Dick Cheney has died at age 84 of complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. Peter Mayer looks back.
He was a leading advocate of the Iraq War and the war on terrorism. In the 2004 campaign, he assumed the traditional vice presidential attack dog role as he criticized Democrat John Kerry for calling for a more sensitive war on terrorism.
A sensitive war will not destroy the evil men who killed 3,000 Americans.
Cheney became a lightning rod for criticism for linking Iraq and al-Qaeda and for insisting Iraq had a weapons of mass destruction program. The former congressman, White House chief of staff, and defense secretary was a key architect of Bush administration policies.
Now this.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
In the U.S. Senate,
on this vote, the yeas are 54, the nays are 44.
With no short-term funding bill approved, the government shutdown is tied with the longest in history at 35 days, set in 2019. The Trump administration said it would tap a contingency fund to pay SNAP benefits. President Trump today said on social media that the benefits would go out when Democrats end the shutdown. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt clarifying,
the administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says if the government isn't reopened soon, it could lead to more action. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
He says the FAA may be forced to close certain parts of the nation's airspace because they won't be able to manage it. They won't have enough air traffic controllers. His concern is the already surging number of air traffic controllers calling in sick. Those numbers will climb even higher.
You're listening to the CBS World News Round.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit Tremfya.com.
Israel says it has told the family of Staff Sergeant Itai Chen that he has been returned for burial. According to the information and intelligence available to the IDF, Staff Sergeant Chen fell during combat in a tank in the battle in Kibbutz Nir Oz on the morning of October 7th, 2023. He was abducted by Hamas and died just over 5 months later. 2 men have been arrested for last weekend's explosion at Harvard University's medical school. CBS's Michael Wallace.
No one was injured in the early morning blast. U.S. Attorney Leah Foley says the 2 men, ages 18 and 20, set off the explosive in a locker at a medical research lab.
Is believed to have been a large commercial firework.
FBI Boston Special Agent in Charge Ted Dock says surveillance cameras caught the men fleeing the building and throwing their clothes in trash cans.
It's not some harmless college prank. It's selfish, it's short-sighted, and it's a federal crime.
The FBI caught the men after their surveillance photos generated tips. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Time on the roundup, 7 minutes past the hour.
You could think you found your dream home online. The kitchen island looks perfect for your inner chef. The backyard, a paradise for your green thumb. And that extra room, hello walk-in closet. But here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. And this sound, yeah, you're going to be hearing a lot of that. Don't let your dream home turn into a nightmare. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
One of British soccer star David Beckham's longest-held wishes has finally come true. He has been knighted by the King.
Wearing a snappy gray suit by his designer wife, Victoria, David Beckham knelt, head bowed, as King Charles gently tapped him on each shoulder with a sword. He arose, Sir David.
It's a huge honour to be here at Windsor Castle. It's a huge honour to receive this from His Majesty, the King, and it's all round a very special day for us.
And what should his family call him now?
Not insisting if they would like to call me Sir Dad or, or Sir Son, they can.
Beckham honoured for both his sporting career and his charity work. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
U.S. Steel details plans to invest $11 billion by 2028 across all business segments in an effort by new owner Nippon Steel to modernize the century-old steelmaker. That's the World News Roundup Late Edition for Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. I'm Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Politics is a tough business. Getting your message out to voters takes a good strategy. West Media Group and their strategic expertise and creative capabilities have helped to elect many notable Fayette County office holders, including Judges Steve Leskinen, Nancy Vernon, and Linda Cordero, retired State Senator Rich Kasunik, former State Representative Tim Mahoney, District Attorney Rich Bauer, District Judges Wendy Dennis, Dan Shimshock, and Rich Kasunik, County Commissioner Vince Vasides. West Media Group has also successfully managed several prominent races in neighboring counties. A full-service strategic marketing company and advertising agency, West Media Group can develop a plan for success for your business or organization, just as they have done for so many candidates for office. For websites and e-marketing programs, to complete strategic advertising plans, call West Media Group at 724-532-3300 or visit them at westmediagroup.com. They get results.
As loved ones age, it's important to make sure that they're getting the care and attention that they need. Hillside Manor Personal Care Home aims to make your loved ones as comfortable as possible while still receiving superior care. 4 specialized levels of care and the services of an on-site certified registered nurse practitioner means that care is personalized on an individual level. At the same time, residents can enjoy a hospitable environment. Themed after a small town, the interior of Hillside Manor features a 50s-style diner, movie theater, and common areas. High-priority safety and security measures ensure the safety and protection of all residents and staff members 24 hours a day, and friends and family are encouraged to make frequent visits. If you're looking for a clean, friendly, and safe place for your loved ones, look no further. Hillside Manor Personal Care Home is ready to meet your needs. Call 724-439-2273 for more information. They look forward to meeting you.
For economy, price, and quality service, call Economy Furnace.
Economy Furnace is honored to be recognized as the best in Fayette for the 3rd consecutive year. This achievement would not be possible without the trust and support of our valued customers. As your neighbors, Economy Furnace believes that local matters, and we proudly serve this community with dedication, care, and a commitment to excellence. Your continued confidence inspires Economy Furnace to go above and beyond every day. We are excited to offer 0% interest and other low-interest financing options, making it easier than ever to bring comfort and quality into your home. Economy Furnace proudly partners with Amana, a brand known for its reliability and excellence, ensuring that every product we provide meets the highest standards. Thank you again for your loyalty and for allowing Economy Furnace to bring comfort to your homes and lives. Thank you for voting Economy Furnace Best in Fayette 3 years in a row.
For economy, price, and quality service, call Economy Furnace.
I'm Aaron Zolbrod, owner and founder of the health insurance store in Connellsville, and I have an important message for those on Medicare. Premiums for Part B, Advantage plans, and supplements are all increasing for 2026. In addition, many people will be faced with higher medical copays and $600 to $1,400 in additional out-of-pocket medication costs next year. Don't panic. You have options, and the health insurance store can compare every competitive Advantage plan and supplement side by side, ensuring that you get the coverage you need at a price you can afford. Since 2008, over 20,000 people have put their trust in the health insurance store to help them navigate the Medicare maze. With all the current and future changes, higher premiums, and out-of-pocket costs, never has it been more important to have an experienced and caring agency looking out and advocating for you. For a no-cost consultation, call the health insurance store at 724-603-3403. 603-3403, or visit us online, www.getyourbestplan.com. Getyourbestplan.com.
Oh, if you could only hear what Nick and I talk about off the air.
Oh,
if you're
good
a good
Lord.
lip reader, you could see what I'm saying on Facebook Live, and we welcome you. It's election day. You still got time. Trust me, I don't think you're going to hit a line at the polling spot. But if there is a line at 8 o'clock, law requires you to vote. There was a mix-up on the voter list coming from Harrisburg, but you can vote. Don't let that bother you. You'll be able to vote. They're required to let you vote. I guess there's been some other issues, too, at times where the scanning machines weren't working, so you'll probably do a provisional ballot, something like that, and they'll rescan them. So, but we will have election coverage tonight starting at 9:30. I'm we're with you on air until 8 o'clock. We'll have the CBS News then. And then to get you out of the, maybe have a relaxing hour and a half, we'll play
Yes.
some America's best music.
You were offered to do the other hour and a half, and you said, no, that's enough. No.
I've had enough. I was on early today filling in for Russ on the What's on Your Mind show. At one point, I was going to make a joke about the fact that I'm probably going to say Afternoon Drive show at one point. And I said, this is the What's on Your Mind show on the Afternoon Drive show.
Oh, I like
on
that.
On your local station, WMBS. By the way, the WVU Medicine Uniontown talk line, we got some open time right now if you want to talk election or you want to talk anything else. We could talk Steelers. I don't know who the defense was for the Steelers this week, but man,
They showed
looked
up.
pretty good.
Yeah. Colts
so
came
give us
back
a
to earth
call.
a little.
724-438-4593. Do you think that's an image of things to come, or was that fluky? It was the first time that the Steelers were ranked last in defense in the league since before Chuck Noll arrived in 1969.
It's going back a ways.
It does. When he told his team after having a 15-loss season, we're going to the Super Bowl.
That's it. And everyone laughed at him, I'm sure.
Exactly. So give us a call, 724-438-4593.
Oh, and Doug, before we move on.
Yes.
Saturday night, Game 7 of the World Series.
Oh, my gosh.
Was that amazing or what? Game 6 was amazing. Game 7 was amazing. There was an 18-inning game. Baseball, both of us agree, best game in the world.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
It was amazing watching that final game. And I was screaming. I was rooting for the
Blue
Blue
Jays.
Jays. Yeah, because I don't like L.A. But the city as a whole, frankly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the baseball team.
No, they're great.
I'm sure there's some nice Angelinos. Is
Oh,
what they're called
absolutely.
if you're
Mary
from-
Hart. Yeah.
But, okay, the bases are loaded. Ninth inning.
Yes.
Toronto.
Yep.
There's a ground ball. The guy on third base is a Major League Baseball player.
Allegedly.
You can run as fast as you can to home plate. You don't have to slide.
Exactly. That slide slowed him down.
He doesn't have to be tagged out.
No.
He just has to. It's a
Run
force
through the
out.
plate.
He was out by a nanosecond.
Nanosecond. So many things broke wrong for the Blue Jays.
Had he
there.
just run full speed through home plate,
They would have won the World Series.
They'd have won.
They would have won. Absolutely.
It would have been over there. And also later, L.A. did the same thing. A guy
Yes.
slid home.
And then the fly ball in left center that could have been dropped.
Oh.
If that drops, they win.
The
The
three-run
broken
score.
Yes. There was a broken bat at the end. If maybe that bat's not broken,
There's
so
a
many
broken bat
storylines.
that ended the World Series ought to be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
That broken
yes,
bat
that should go to the Hall of Fame. What a game.
but
And you
yeah,
feel
the-
bad
the
for the Blue
series-
Jays. They were up 4-3 in the 8th inning.
Oh.
Lose. Ties it at 4, the Dodgers.
And it's funny. They didn't win the World Series because of Shohei Ohtani. If anything, he looked human in 2 outings.
He did, absolutely. Yamamoto, I think, was the main reason of those complete games.
I'm embarrassed to say this. Who got the MVP?
It was Yamamoto.
Oh my, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I was so disgusted. Soon as the game was over, I shut off the TV.
Nah. Yeah, I was worn out.
But yeah, it was an amazing World Series.
It was amazing.
But still the fact that Ohtani pitched 10 strikeouts and hit 3 home runs.
Oh, my
That's
God.
Babe Ruth stuff.
In a playoff game. That is mythical. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe the best performance by a pro athlete ever, just what he's been able to do.
But the fact that 2 more pitches, and Steve Blass was on with us last week, and he said Ohtani looked human.
Nah, absolutely.
And this is the guy who pitched the complete Game 7 in the World Series.
That's right, in 71.
And obviously Ohtani started that game, but it was never the plan to have him in very long.
No,
But
no.
I'm sure they wanted him longer than he was. He gave up
Sure.
several runs.
He struggled a little bit, but the Blue Jays came so
and
close.
L.A. wasn't scoring runs.
No, but the bottom of their lineup came through. Rojas and Will Smith, not 2 of their better hitters, had the game-winning home runs, the game-tying and game-winning home run in the Blue Jays. All they had to do was win one of those 2 games at home. You thought they could pull it off.
So you have 2 of the best pitchers in baseball, Ohtani and help me with the name.
For the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto. Thank you. I don't want to mispronounce it.
No.
That's it's rude.
They both have tough names.
and
they're both Asian, of
They
Asian
can't
descent.
interact with their fellow players.
No, there's a language
They
barrier.
don't know the language.
That's right.
And that one must be very strange.
Has to be.
And there was a lot of controversy related to how long they were letting Ohtani warm up.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the pitchers are on third base back in the day when pitchers actually hit.
Yes, when they would get
And
on
they would
base
come in and give him a little extra
infrequently.
time, but he's not your standard
No.
hitter.
Yeah, give him time.
And at one point, John Schneider, the manager for Blue Jays, was
Yeah.
pointing at his watch saying, "What are you doing here?
Yes, he was upset.
How much time are you going to give this guy?"
Yeah.
It's as if at one point, then Yamamoto nodded and say, okay, I'm
He
ready
did.
to go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
No, that's up to the umpire to
It
decide.
should be up to the umps. It should be up to the league. You're right.
Yeah, that just seemed to, and Steve
The
Blass,
Dodgers get all the breaks, is what we're getting at.
Steve Blass agreed there should not be a special rule for one player.
No, there shouldn't.
If you walk off the field during an inning into the dugout, you should be done.
That should be it.
This is not football
That's
where
what
you
always
can
made baseball
you can
special.
come in
Yeah.
and out, and they let him back in the game as a designated hitter. I think they really need to think about that. Not that I don't know if it would make any difference in the World Series.
But it was exciting nonetheless. I mean, we can't take away from how
Yes, it
great
was.
those games were, and baseball's a beautiful sport.
Yeah, I was
no clock.
disappointed.
You never know when it's going to end.
Yeah, it was disappointing to have it go to. Disappointing. I was hoping for the Blue Jays to win, but to have it go to extra innings in Game 7, and a home
That's
run
right.
did win it, but it wasn't a walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth.
No, it was not. But
Maz still has it.
That's right. And I heard someone, a Pittsburgh radio guy, say he's glad no one ended it with the home run
Yeah.
in the bottom of the ninth or extra innings. Maz still has it.
Yeah.
Now, a former Blue Jay in the 90s, Joe Carter, ended a Game 6 with a home run, but
Right.
only man ever end a Game 7, Mr. Bill Mazeroski.
In a game
and let that stand forever
where the
against
final
the Yankees.
score was 10-9.
10-9. The Yankees scored more runs and had the much better stats in that series. But as the former Pirate, maybe Steve would know, I forget the name. He was Gene Kleins maybe said, they have all the records and the stats, but we'll take the trophy for 1960.
Well,
yeah.
they had a dumb rule then that they had to pick the MVP of the series in the 7th inning.
Yes, and it
of
went to
games.
Bobby Richardson.
So it went Bobby Richardson. When, in
for
fact,
the Yankees.
Yeah, and yeah, he had an incredible series.
How does
but
it not go to Bill Mazeroski?
Bill Mazeroski, who hits the home run to win the game.
And Dick Croat was the MVP of the National League that year.
Right, yeah.
Heck of a middle infield.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, the Pirates. When will they win again, Doug? Will I be alive? Will you be alive?
Oh,
Will our grandkids be alive?
When you think when you think of those games, and I'm looking up the scores of those games. Of course, the Pirates in 60 and 71 and 79 went to
Well, the three games the Yankees won that series were all blowouts. The Pirates, I think they were all one-run games that they won. Maybe not, but close.
Not quite, but yeah, they got outscored. I'm trying to find it right now. That they got outscored like 54-27.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And think of the legends on that Yankee team: Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, endless. Tony Kubek.
Yeah, and the Pirates,
Bobby Richardson.
Yeah, Bobby Richardson. That was after, and how short those games were, despite the fact, like the last game scored 19 runs.
That's right.
And it was not a day when pitching dominated the world like it does now.
That's right.
Good heavens. How many guys struck out in the World Series?
There was no DH. There was no interleague play. There were barely any night games. It was a better time, Doug. I think you're annoyed by night games. Forget the DH or the interleague play. I think you're so old school.
Although I do admit publicly that I went to the first ever night World Series game.
71.
Yeah, during
That's right.
My brother
Clemente had a home run
my
that game,
grandfather,
right?
who I called Pap, Chris Beidel, we'll throw his name out there, and my brother Dave. We all went to the game. Now, my brother's favorite player was Bob Robertson. And being the annoying little brother I was, I had to go to the bathroom every 12
Oh, yeah,
minutes.
he had a home run on that game. Yeah.
And as my brother is coming out of, because I was too young to go to the bathroom by myself, go to the men's room by myself. Let me make that clear. And
oh, I see.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah. You weren't peeing yourself.
Dave here screaming. He runs out and he sees Bob Robertson's home run go over the fence.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to kill me.
Yeah, I
That
would
he
never
missed
speak
him
to you
hit.
again. Yeah.
So, okay, here we go. Let's go through these scores. Game 1 between the Yankees and the Pirates, 1960s. Pirates won 6-4. Game 2, the Pirates scored 3 runs. Yankees scored 16.
Oh, my God.
16. The next game, the Yankees scored 10. The Pirates got shut out.
10-0.
10-0. Third game, the Pirates win 3-2. Fourth game, Pirates win 5-2. Game 6, the Yankees scored 12 runs. The Pirates got shut out.
12-0 Game 6. So you're thinking after Game 6, so hopefully Game 7's good, and it ended up being quite good.
3 of the games, 16-3, 12-0. That's amazing.
No,
then you get shut out 10-0, and then the Pirates won 10-9, October 13th, when it was an October Classic.
That's right.
Game 7 at Forbes Field in front of 36,000.
That's amazing.
Well,
Well,
the stadium wasn't that big.
The game this past weekend and that game, those are two of the best games ever. You have to put that game this past weekend as one of the best games ever.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
But a walk-off home run. It's kind of funny. 2 of the greatest plays, most memorable plays in the history of baseball and football were in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
The immaculate reception, and then of course Game 7 hits it over Yogi Berra's head in left field, who was always considered. People think of him as a catcher.
That's right.
So Does deja vu all over again.
Oh my gosh, Doug! When you come to a fork in the road, take it. No one goes there anymore; it's too crowded.
You and I, the day that Yogi Berra died, you and I were going through all the great lines that Yogi
That's
Berra
right.
used. Over the years.
Yogi-isms, yes.
Yogi-isms.
That's right.
Yeah,
He was a
when
legend.
you think of the Bill Mazeroski was not a home run hitter.
No, not at all. He was known for his defense more than anything. Great defensive second
Till
baseman.
this day, I think it still has been involved in more double plays.
Yeah, him and Dick Groh, that was an amazing
than anybody.
combo.
Yeah, the winning pitcher was Vern Law.
Yeah.
Roy Face got the save.
Yeah.
Home runs by Roger Maris and Elston Howard.
You know who gave up the home run for the Yankees?
I forget.
To Mazeroski? Ralph Terry.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's why they keep me around. Ralph Branca gave up. No. Was it Ralph Branca? Gave up the home run to Bobby Thompson? I think it was.
Yeah.
So two of the most famous home runs of all time, both given up by guys named Ralph. And that was your father's name, right?
That was my dad's
There
name.
you go.
Great name, Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph Branca gave up the Bobby Thompson home run in 51 when the Giants won the pennant. Remember that with the announcers going nuts?
The Giants won the pennant. The
Yeah.
Giants win the pennant. That was back in the days. Well, first up, I was also saying to my brother while we were watching these games, they kept saying the most home runs during the playoffs, the most extra base hits during the playoffs.
Yeah, that's skewed because there are more rounds now.
Well,
I think they
when
acknowledge
I was
that.
a kid, there were only 7
That
games.
was the World Series.
That was
there
it,
was
the
no
World
LCS,
Series.
certainly no LDS,
Yeah,
and
no-
definitely no wild card round.
Yeah, exactly.
The playoffs start now.
So there were
they take a
7
month.
playoff games, which was the World Series.
Max, sometimes some years 4.
Yeah, when I was a kid. Nowadays, there's more than 3 times. There's 22 possible games.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so you can't use that really as a stat without putting an asterisk next to it all the time.
Of course.
But yeah, it didn't go
There's more rounds in all playoffs now. I mean, in the NBA and NHL, more than half the league makes the playoffs, which
Yeah.
is just absurd.
Yeah, there was a time years ago that there were 21 teams in the NHL and 16 made the playoffs. Like,
that
why
is-
have the season?
That's so stupid.
And football's getting too long too. Now that the
There's 7 in each conference now.
and
Yeah,
how many
playoff teams?
and the World Series, the Super Bowl's in the second week of
February.
February. A couple weeks later, pitchers and catchers show up. So who knows?
Oh well, if only we could solve the world's problems, Doug. starting with sports schedules.
Exactly, and down to the fact that every opener for a baseball team should be in their home stadium. Now,
We'll get that.
again, I'm not in charge of figuring out how to do it. I'm just the idea man.
Just the idea, man. And boy, those are flawless ideas that are going to be executed.
Yeah. Many years later, after the 1960 World Series, Mickey Mantle was quoted in Ken Burns' documentary Baseball as saying that losing the 1960 series was the only loss, amateur or professional, that he cried actual tears afterwards.
And by the way, if you ever have 65 hours to kill, that Ken Burns documentary is great.
Yeah.
A little long, but yeah.
It is long.
The Civil War one I'm just ending. I started it when I was in 5th grade.
For Mazeroski, by contrast, his series-clinching home run was the highlight of a Hall of Fame career. And he got into the Hall. They think that home run delayed his Hall of Fame entry because it overshadowed what an incredible defensive second baseman he was.
Sure.
And a lot of people forget he was in the he was still on the 1971 team.
Yeah, he was.
Veteran.
Veteran. He was hanging on.
Yeah, anytime that there were commemorations of that World Series or gatherings, he doesn't attend. He said, "No, I didn't play an important enough part of that team." And what he did do in 1972, and a lot of people forget this, he was the only person who ever pinch hit for Roberto Clemente.
Wow.
After Clemente had his double that gave him his 3,000th hit, Danny Murtaugh, was he manager that year or was it Bill Verdon? I'm trying to think. I can't remember who. And he said
I think it was
he
Murtaugh.
wanted to take Clemente out after that great event. And he said he knew whoever went in to pinch hit for him might get booed.
Yeah.
But he knew that the fans would not boo Bill Mazeroski.
That's true. That's funny.
So
that was Clemente's last hit. He died a few months later.
Yeah, he died. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people forget, speaking of, people forget that the Immaculate Reception was only 8 days later that Clemente died.
That's right.
It was the same year. And that's why, frankly, the Immaculate Reception has gotten bigger over the years. Most people forgot about it because they lost the next
It's
game
mythical.
in the playoffs.
To Miami. They did not win the Super Bowl that year.
No, heavens, that was only like 72.
Yes, it was.
And of course, the devastation of losing Clemente overshined everything.
Yeah.
In a negative sense,
horrible.
I guess I should say. So, those are only 8 days apart. Most people forget about that.
Sure.
And it was an honor having Franco on this show on the day
Franco Harris,
on the
yeah.
actual day they announced he was going to retire his number. And I texted he was going to be on. Sadly, the day he died. He was scheduled to be on the show. and he died that night. Because I remember I got a text at about 4 o'clock in the morning, which is never a good sign.
No.
It woke me up. In fact, I immediately then called Matt Sapienza, and I said, here's this news, Matt. And he wasn't aware of it yet because it really hadn't hit the wires all that strong just yet.
Yeah.
So we're off the topic. It's Election Day, folks.
Oh, there's no topic. We're just free-flowing conversation.
You still have time to vote.
That's right.
Get out, for heaven's sake.
And why should people vote, Doug? As a good American, you've worked in politics your whole life. Why is it important?
Because it's not that hard. There's other
That's
countries
true.
where people are dodging bullets to vote.
That's right.
In this country, people complain
about everything.
About the line being long.
Oh, I know.
Oh, it was raining. I couldn't go vote.
I don't know enough about the candidates. Well, that's your fault.
Okay, let's get back to this.
What?
1960 World Series.
Oh, this is much more important
The
than
Yankees
democracy.
scored 55 runs.
Wow.
The Pirates scored 27.
Jeez.
The Yankees had 8 errors, the Pirates 4. The Yankees had 91 hits in the World Series. The Pirates had 60.
It makes no sense the Pirates won. It makes absolutely no sense. But it does in a way.
The winning players' share, they got extra money back then for the World Series, $8,400. The losing team got $5,200. How did they come up with these numbers? $8,418 each player on the winning team got.
Wow.
The losing team got $5,215.
Is this on Baseball Reference? I mean, my gosh, what can you not find out online? That's amazing. I don't know how they came to that specific figure. It's very random. And
Total
attendance,
attendance,
it's not random.
349,813. The average attendance was 49,973.
At Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium.
Which is much bigger
70,000
than
people
Forbes
fit into it for the one game.
You ever make it to Forbes Field?
No.
No.
You know, it's funny. I used to joke with my dad that he never
Oh.
took me to Forbes Field.
All right.
And one day, my mother said, you know, Douglas, your dad feels really bad about that. You should stop bringing it up.
So you stop bringing it up.
So he sent me a postcard one time with Forbes Field. He said, I hope this helps.
Oh, that's funny.
So
Well,
I never brought it up again. I was just joking.
Yeah, that's funny.
But he never took me to Forbes Field. I was 7 when it closed.
Oh, I see.
6. A month away from being 7. Because it
Well, there you
closed
go.
mid-season.
It did.
was
They started. They went on the road for 2 weeks, came back and played at a new
Played at a new
stadium.
stadium.
Three Rivers, yeah.
We're going to hit that CBS News brief coming up here in a moment, and then Keith Schmidt, analyst, is going to join us.
PBS News Brief. A UPS cargo plane headed to Honolulu with 3 on board crashes in an industrial area on takeoff from the Louisville, Kentucky airport. WLKY TV's Norman Seawright.
You can see this black cloud of smoke for miles, and we're able to see just this plume of smoke, and it is an ominous looking thing. It's obviously something tragic has happened.
CBS's Finn Gomez on what's drawing voters to the polls today.
Speaking to both Republicans, Democrats especially, when I asked them what is their top issue, thinking it would be affordability or something else, they would often say it was Trump and what they perceive as an overreach from the executive branch.
Polls are closed in Virginia, where CBS estimates both the governor and lieutenant governor races are leaning Democrat. Voters in New Jersey are choosing between Republican Jack Ciattarelli and Democrat Mikey Sherrill to be the next governor. This voter supports Ciattarelli.
We just want everyone to be on the same page when it comes to fighting crime, bringing our bills down, and helping out the communities.
CBS News Brief, I'm Jennifer Kipe.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that's not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like John from Morgantown. John had such extreme numbness and pain that he was having difficulty feeling his car pedals. Then John discovered Tri-State Neuropathy Centers and their effective FDA-approved treatment program that has no drugs, is non-invasive and painless. John's great results have given his freedom back, and he's doing the things he wants, like simply driving or cutting the grass. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help John, along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 304-777-2068. That's 304-777-2068. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
Hi, everybody. This is Matt Sapienza, WNBS's Morning Man, here to remind you of the letters for this week's Name It and Claim It Scrambled Word Game. Once again, we have 8 letters in this week's contest. 8. And let's see if you can unscramble these into a proper word. Listen up, listen close, and listen carefully. U as in under. S as in stairs. T as in train. R as in rain. A as in associated. P as in press. N as in nice. And I as in ice. Those letters make up one word. You must use all the letters in your answer. No proper names, please. You want to get in on this week's contest? Well, I'm sure you do, so here's what you got to do to enter. Just send in your answer along with your name, address, and phone number to Name It and Claim It, WMBS Radio, 44 South Mount Vernon Avenue, Uniontown, Pennsylvania, 15401. Or if you really feel like it, you can drop your answer off personally here at the WMBS Broadcast House at that very same address. Either way, make sure your cards get in by 4 o'clock this Thursday afternoon, November 6th. Our prize this week is one of your favorite prizes. I know that for certain. It's a set of $60 worth of Pennsylvania Lottery scratch-off tickets. Naturally, what this means, you must be 18 or older to play any game from the Pennsylvania Lottery and thus participate in this contest. Enter as many times as you like. No purchase is necessary because it's all from us, your local station, WMBS Uniontown, AM and FM, and on your device of choice. After all, we are the home of the Name It and Claim It scrambled word game.
Join the Case Foundation on November 28th at the Uniontown Country Club for a night of glamour as they celebrate a night at the Oscars with all proceeds benefiting area youth sports. Tickets for the formal adult prom are $70 for single tickets or $125 for couples. The gala will feature a live DJ, 50-50 raffle, red carpet with a professional photographer, and more. Get your tickets today by calling 724-434-9061. Don't miss this fun night and opportunity to support local youth sports.
For professional cleaning services, Clean and Shine in New Stanton is the place for you. They provide commercial and residential cleaning, porter services, carpet cleaning, stripping and waxing, construction cleanups, and car cleaning. For free estimates, call 724-691-0413, email info@cleanandshine14.org, or visit their website, cleanandshine14.org. We clean so you can shine.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
WMBS.
That's Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. Quite possibly one of the great all-time rock songs. Top 5, easy.
It's up there for me, Doug.
Yeah, it's
Have you heard it perform live? Did you see
Slow Hand? Pardon?
Did you ever hear it perform live?
I have.
With
No,
Derek
I've
and the
seen
Dominoes?
Clapton several times.
Clapton did it, yeah.
And of course that was with Derek and the Dominoes.
That was his other band, like Paul McCartney and Wings.
Well,
right?
there was Derek and the Dominoes. He was with the Yardbirds. He was with.
Oh, I see. Yes.
How many bands was Clapton with?
A lot.
Yeah,
but I mean, most
what was
famous
the other
for
band?
solo work.
Yeah, he did. But Derek and the Dominoes, Eric Clapton on his own, the Yardbirds.
Our next guest knows. He just texts me.
Perhaps.
Get him on.
We'll get that. Joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, our good friend, business analyst and political analyst, for heaven's sake, business consultant, I should say, Keith Schmidt. Keith, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Always good to talk to you and your listeners. I have to say that in your next life, as good of a host as you are to talk radio and as entertaining and informative as you are to the listeners, you're a disc jockey at heart. I mean, I really think you'll be a disc jockey in heaven.
No,
that's your real passion.
Because the world of disc jockeys literally are gone because they're only allowed to play.
That's why I said you have to do it in heaven. You
Right.
can't make a living on earth.
Yeah, and because he can only play what the corporate folks tell you. We always had a radio station on in our office, and we had a bingo card, and you'd have to keep track of the songs because they always play the same 12 songs anymore. And it's all decided by some corporate guru who thinks they know what they're doing. But the
interesting thing with you and your producer is you always have a backstory. You always know some nuance about a song, about a group.
We're full of
about
it,
an
Keith,
event that happened 40 years ago. That's the entertaining part. The music's great, but I can tell you the backstories that's really entertaining.
And what's interesting about this, I'm 62, so I should know music. Nick is 29.
29.
And people don't realize that who've never seen him. And he knows more about pop culture.
Nick, you have a very old voice.
Oh,
if I
thank
would
you.
have guessed, I thought you were in your 50s.
Oh, well, that's
bizarre.
I'm not sure what to think about that.
That's a radio voice.
That is a radio voice. A
That's
lot of coffee and
he has
cigarettes.
a radio voice.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, as I always say, a molded heart, Keith. A molded heart.
That's
so.
right. And here's the other thing, too. When he turns 30, he'll have been in radio for 15 years.
Oh, enough, Doug, enough.
He started at age 15 on the air, not just shuffling papers around.
We're boring the listeners.
We were scheduled to talk to Keith at 6:30, and we appreciate your changing. We had another guy who was only available at that time slot, and I think you know him. Rick Santorum was our guest at 6:30.
Imagine that.
So you got
Former
bumped.
I don't mind being bumped by the former senator and conference chairman. That's good for you, presidential candidate, hopeful. How did he do?
Oh, it's funny. He's probably done 12 interviews today. He's in New York City all day on Newsmax,
Right.
CNN, you name it, probably. And he had as much enthusiasm on this show that he has on all of those. And they probably have
100%.
a larger listener and viewership on those shows.
And he never forgets the people that help him get to the dance.
Yeah.
You're one of those people.
On a very serious note, he was the first person outside my family who called when our baby Mary died. And he called to talk to me about that. And I thought that was so touching of him.
God love you.
They gave him, and that was many, many years ago. But I remember, I'll never forget that, the fact that he called me about that.
Yep.
And, of course,
Well,
he
that's
struggled.
the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, just a decent guy. And talking about the national elections today, of course, he's in New York seeing this. And who would think, said, those people who are Democrats who get accused of being a socialist, they deny it. And Rick cut me off and said, no, he doesn't mind being called a communist, this Mondami, who's running for mayor of New York.
Right.
A very...
All but, ready to be coordinated. I mean, there's nothing going to stop the electoral success this evening of the new mayor, a clear, unavowed, unapologetic communist. But you have to think that in the end, it just really helps the national narrative for the Republican Party.
It has to.
This is exactly what I mean. I don't want to have to destroy a city or it to become unhinged. I know it's probably the 35th or 36th largest city in the world, but it's the most important city in the world for the arts, for international affairs, for banking. It is absolutely. I understand Washington's our national capital, but it is the capital of America in many ways, and to see it handed to this type of agenda. It's really a scary thought for us, but it does advance the narrative of Republicans who've been pounding the pavement now for a half a generation, saying that the Democrats have lost their way and they're moving further and further to the left, and this is going to be evidence of it. I mean, it's coming, folks. I mean, it's coming. So we'll see what happens.
And the de facto co-chairs of the Democratic Committee in America is going to be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Mondami.
There you have it. So they're writing the narrative. We're not pushing them to the left. They're walking hand in hand, arm in arm to the left.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the new Democratic Party. It's bizarre, but I can tell you, it's going to come home to roost for them in a very negative way.
Yeah.
And I hope we can keep our wits about it. I hope it doesn't destroy New York. I saw a statistic where those 120 billionaires or something that called New York home. When you look at the tax base, they contribute 40% of the taxes to the New York City.
Yeah.
And if there's a mass exodus, if you're a billionaire, you can live anywhere. If there's a mass exodus of New York City, it can literally gut the greatest city in America in a matter of months.
Yeah.
So it's a scary time.
And it's happening
really
on the left coast as well. California, during the last census, the first time they ever lost a congressional seat. They either gained congressional seats or stayed even. They actually lost a congressional seat in the last.
That's hard to believe. Never in our lifetime has that happened. That's
Yeah, and it's never ever has it happened in California to lose a seat.
Wow.
Because of the population loss, especially following the complete shutdown during the pandemic, which now in hindsight realize Florida stayed open and the California shut itself down for years, and the COVID rate was higher in California. So. Yeah, you wonder how these things happen. In Pennsylvania, very unique situation. And when we talked with Rick Santorum, we really focused on the national. But here in Pennsylvania, for 20 years has there's been a concerted effort to knock incumbent state Supreme Court justices. Of course, 2005, nothing close to this level of push or the money being spent. But when Russell Nigro was knocked out of the state Supreme Court.
Largely because of the pay raise.
Oh, it had nothing to do with him at all. Or Sandra Schultz Newman was the Republican. She came very close, but she did retain her seat. But this really is unprecedented to see. Well, it was very unusual to have 3 people elected to the state Supreme Court in the same year, which meant then 10 years later they'd be up for retention. But it's a tough thing to not retain a judge at any level, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, and right now it did highlight these races in a way it's never been highlighted before. I mean, the Supreme Court does a lot of things, and maybe 5% of what they do has to do with absentee ballots or redistricting or elections, but that is the focal point of this race. In the last 10 years, especially in the Trump era, activist judges, political judges that look like they're voting their party and not policy or law, and activist judges have become a mainstay, something that people talk about. And what's going to happen here is I don't know that the effort was big enough or the vote's going to be big enough to make a difference, but it'll be the first time that they're even somewhat competitive. I have a sense that they'll survive, but it will be a number that they're not as comfortable with. And if there's any reason to believe that this is a race, part of my Tuesday morning coffee in La Prima in the Strip District that I've done off and on for 20 plus 30 years, Governor Corbett, former Governor Corbett, was there this morning with us, and we chatted, and we both agreed that we've never seen ever a sitting governor use any political capital whatsoever to go and take a stand on a retention race for judges. And the fact that this sitting governor decided that he would expend some political capital, somebody must have showed him some polling that said this is more than of a race than we're comfortable with, and we need you to engage. So it did bring a lot of heightened sensitivity to this race. And the other conversation I had leading up to this, Doug, is I was at a cigar place and having some drinks at happy hour with some folks, and we were talking about how judges are elected like school directors locally. A countywide judge here in Allegheny County and in Fayette County and all the counties in Pennsylvania are elected as they can cross file. They can run on both ballots like a school director because we consider them not a political position. But the state constitution is different. They make them declare party and they run on the party, and that is part of the complication of this whole narrative, is that they are running on a political banner, and that now it looks like they are representative of that banner. How many times do we hear stories at the national level on CBS, NBC, and ABC that say Obama appointed judge, Trump appointed Bush? They always tell you who appointed. That was never the case. Now we always hear when a story's written, it's about what president appointed them and what their leaning might be because of that appointment.
It's it, and that's not how it should be. Certainly, it's interesting that you mentioned Governor Tom Corbett. He was our guest at 5:35 tonight, so it's old school week.
Oh my goodness, we're bringing them all out.
Was Jack Wagner there for heaven's? Jack Wagner was one of our guests tonight. A moderate Democrat, former.
I can tell you what, you put a hell of a lineup together. I can't believe I'm batting cleanup.
Yeah,
that's an impressive lineup.
And I try to get both sides of the aisle. I always try to do that. I take heat for that sometimes, but I try to.
No, good for you.
Of course, Jack Wagner was chairman or was president of Pittsburgh City Council, then state senator, then auditor general, Pennsylvania.
For 2 terms.
Yeah, and veteran, Vietnam veteran, and it's interesting.
Combat veteran.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We were talking
Wounded
about that.
in battle. He's a great man. Was a great and continues to be a great public servant in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we're really committed to always be veterans throughout the state. But gee whiz, maybe at some point I'll get to the level I can be invited to one of those coffee clatches. I'd be honored. I'd be honored to be down there for one of those.
I might have to have you. I send out a text message if you're willing to travel into the Strip District on a Tuesday morning. I'm going to put you on that list.
Oh, I think I can make it. Yeah. Well,
all right. Well, then I'll definitely put you on the list.
And I will accept the fact that I'm not a charter member, and I will, slowly enter the conversation. So that's.
And it's very bipartisan.
Yeah.
Commonwealth Court. Michael Wosick was there today. We have a number of people on both sides of the aisle. It's just a very good bipartisan discussion, trying to move the ball forward for the region.
Yeah. I was on another radio station, we'll say, yesterday morning, and then somebody got my I don't know how, but someone got my cell phone, called me, and complained that my analysis wasn't conservative enough. I'm like, well, that's the idea of analysis. You're hoping to show both sides, and I try to do that when I do analysis of what's happening. So we have that race. We have the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. Again, I've done some research. Have not been able to find a time when incumbent mayors lost in back-to-back primaries. Of course, Bill Peduto lost, and of course.
No, you'd have to go back all the way to the beginning. I don't think you've had 2 consecutive losses by an incumbent in the history of our great city. Yeah. So it's a big deal. I'm a big fan. I was a close personal friend of his father. I'm a good friend of Corey's. I like Corey because he cares about the city as a young family, and he is not. I don't want to speak for him, but I don't see him as being ambitious beyond being a good mayor. I'm hoping that he ends up serving 2 or 3 or 4 terms and has some sense of cohesiveness over time that we could build up a power base here in southwestern Pennsylvania, even to have influence beyond our region. And that happens when you have someone who spends, a few terms, and they're not term limited. And you could change the direction of a city by a good leader. And what we have had is, to a degree, people were unimpressed with the second term of Peduto. It seemed like there was some loss of focus there. The last 4 years of the team he put together was in many ways not the A team or the B team. It was not a team that really can get the engines fired up. So we've gone almost 10 years now without real hard leadership. And I hope that I hope that he'll be able to provide that. I know he's ready for it. And I know for a fact that he's going to hire the best and brightest in City Hall. Yeah. We're going to have the A team again, and we're going to find our way back to greatness. You're not going to be able to flip the switch. It's going to take time, but I think he's willing to look at the long picture of this and build a renewed Pittsburgh in the next decade. So, God bless him. I'm praying for him. I'm wishing him the best, and I think sometimes I've been pushing him for many years to look at this race, but this was the right time. This was a perfect timing for somebody who can hit the ground running, who understands the politics of this city and the needs, and will reach across the aisle to make things happen. So, Godspeed, and we wish him the best of luck.
Of course, our radio station is located here in Fayette County, but I think most people realize, it's the Metro Pittsburgh area. Yeah, it's the anchor of the region.
I don't live in the city either, but we understand it's the heart of the region.
Right.
Even if you're in one of the counties that surround Allegheny County, when you travel to San Francisco or Honolulu or Miami, you tell people you're from Pittsburgh.
Right.
Even if you're anywhere in the metro area, the 2.5 million metro area, we're Pittsburghers. So we need them to do well. That rising tide will lift all our boats.
Right. We're talking with Keith Schmidt, of course. He is president of Bridge Connections, a local business consulting organization, works nationally. And you talk about that race, and in so many cases, I think Tom Murphy did a pretty good job early on. Then he started losing focus. You need those worker bees. If people would say, what's your number one issue in the city of Pittsburgh, they would say, well, the streets aren't paved. My street light's not working. There's crime in the streets. Yes, at one point, Peduto was talking about global warming issues and the Paris Accords. People want their mayor to make sure the trains run on time.
And the garbage is picked up,
right.
And there's public safety, and
the streets
are
plowed.
And that's what I'm saying. He's from Central Casting. He is the candidate. He's at the right age. He's at the prime of his career. He's not going to use this to pivot somewhere else. All that he wants is to change this city for his young family and for the people that he cares about and his family and friends and the good people of Pittsburgh. Yeah. I really think sometimes the moons align. And right now they're aligning around this candidacy. Yeah. I have high hopes for him, and I am pretty confident that we're going to see a very successful 2, 3, or 4 terms of Corey O'Connor. Yeah. And that's going to put us back on the map again.
Yeah, I understand too that his consultants in the campaign were insisting that he put his dad into commercials, videos of his dad, and he said, "No, I'm running as my own. I'm running as myself. I'm not going to do that."
Right. I'm not.
We'll see what happens.
But no doubt he's benefited by his knowledge and his his rearing by a great mayor who only served us less than a year, but his influence still lives on. He'd be he'd have the same type of scenario that I'm trying to build around Corey right now. He also did not have ambition beyond the mayor. He wanted to be a good mayor and do a good job for the people of this region. And had he lived, he might still be mayor. I mean, but tragedy, his health tragically failed, and we lost a great man. But I know he's smiling down from heaven. His mom and dad right now have to be both smiling down from heaven to see their son achieve this pinnacle position in his young career.
Yeah, and he doesn't age. That's when I tell him not too long ago.
That's the truth.
I said, I met you back in the day. You don't look any older. How's this possible? And
honest to God, to God,
he looked like he's 25.
He can't help it. He looks so doggone young.
That's a nice problem to have, I suppose.
So lucky.
I used to joke, I never got carded even when I drank underage, for crying out loud. I've always looked old for some reason, I think. Talking with Keith Schmidt here as we wrap up our discussions here on election. So we certainly appreciate the fact that you allowed your former boss, Senator Rick Santorum, to bump you from the time you were going to be and joined us here. And Rick's enthusiasm for anything, any interview he does, you would have thought he was on Fox with us.
100%. It doesn't. And when I would go to, and you know the schedule, the rigors of the schedule. We'd do 7 town meetings in a day, and his enthusiasm was as strong in the 7th as it was in the 1st.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if there was 35 people in a room or 350 people in a room. His enthusiasm never wandered.
Exactly.
I mean, he gave the pitch, and that's what he did in Iowa, in 2012, and that made the difference. It didn't matter if 5 people showed up in a rural county; he'd give his whole spiel, and people still write about that and talk about that.
And I mentioned earlier, it was a tragedy that he won that in 2 weeks. But they didn't realize it until 2 weeks later, and then he lost his momentum.
2 weeks too late. Yeah,
that was
the bump. We didn't get the bump that he needed, but he still ended up going on to win 13 states with less money than anybody per vote in the history of the presidency. It was a remarkable run.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. We always
I always enjoy talking to you and your listeners.
Right.
Thanks so much for always including me as a perennial commentator, and I hope to be talking to your listeners again in the next month or two.
All righty.
I wish you well.
No doubt. All right. Thanks, Keith.
Good night.
Good night. We're going to take a break here, folks. We're going to wrap things up. 8 o'clock news coming up, national news from CBS. Then we're going to have America's Best Music for an hour and a half, and then election night coverage like no other right here on WMBS. Stick around.
Live Casino is celebrating its 5-year anniversary by giving away $50,000 in prizes. Get in on the fun November 17th through 23rd. Play with your Live Rewards card for a chance to win your share of $50,000 in prizes. Plus, enjoy $5 specials all week long, like our $5 social margaritas, $5 nachos, $5 pretzels, and more. Celebrate 5 at Live. Live Casino, Route 30 at Westmoreland Mall. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking for a new spot for a night out? Then check out Shindig's Bar and Grill in Uniontown, located in Oliver Square. With regular live entertainment and themed events, and offering 6 diamond pool tables and 3 dartboards, Shindig's is the place to be. Enjoy daily specials, including Tuesday wing night, Friday's Cajun chicken Alfredo, and Saturday's incredible crab leg dinner. And stick around for karaoke nights, live music, and so much more. Follow them on Facebook at Shindig's with a Z Bar and Grill. Shindig's, your hootenanny hotspot.
In 1986, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville was started with a promise to provide clients with truthful, friendly, and courteous service. It worked. With an expanded client base, the Firestone Insurance Agency's customers are now able to choose from over 20 well-known insurance companies. So whether it be auto, home, business, or life, Firestone has you covered, and the promise to provide truthful, friendly, and courteous service is still in place. As an independent insurance agency, the Firestone Insurance Agency works for you. They do the shopping for you to save you time and a bunch of needless phone calls. Because let's face it, no one loves to shop for insurance. Call the office at 724-455-3900 or visit FirestoneInsurance.net. Can't make it to Normalville? Let the Firestone Insurance Agency bring service right to your kitchen table. The Firestone Insurance Agency, 724-455-3900 or FirestoneInsurance.net. Doing what is right for the customer, finding the most affordable rates while making sure there are no coverage gaps so you are fully protected from the unforeseen.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
One of the most incredible architectural masterpieces in the United States. Lloyd Wright's, a world-famous work of architecture.